Oh man. But this festival in just a few hours. I'm gonna be blunt with you guys, but with cards being limited to only one, the best possible way to go is the engines that only need like one copy of each card, and you probably can get some synergy out of those different engines by combining them together. But you don't want to overcomplicate things. You just want to keep it simple. Just KIS. Keep it simple. Just use more generics, staples, and you should be fine. You're probably gonna run into how to put it, because trying to read your opponent's deck for a format like this is going to be really difficult because cards are limited to one. So it's going to be two engines mixed together or three engines mixed together, trying to make it work with a decent amount of staples. You can expect to see the Raigeki, you expect Harpy's Feather Duster, Monster Reborn. They are staples that you should be playing for this event. They do have I think some Lunar Decks. It looks like rockets, whatever they have piled up, one-ofs. Like I said, just keep it simple. You use numerous staples, cards that are going to really impact the format, like cracking down, taking control of the opponent's monster. That should be something to consider. Scapegoats is definitely something to consider, being able to get into various link monsters. I do have my Pancratops bookmark because it's just a really good card to have. Come to the field, 2600 beat, a pop a card on the opponent's side of the field. Like I said, cards that you should be meaning, like Monster Reborn, Harpy's Feather Duster, Raigeki, Lightning Storm, Dark Hole, because you're going to need the out depending on what the opponent's playing. Hand traps, boy, being limited to one, just put in a barrage of hand traps, anywhere from about 8 to 12 if you can get them in, and also pending on the engine that you're running. So you do want to be wary of the engine that you're running. This is another one of the Lunar Decks. Seems to be fairies, has some synchro potential, 20 monsters. But see, this is the thing now with today's Yu-Gi-Oh compared to when I would have played back in the day. Back in the day, playing with 12 spells and 8 traps and 20 monsters was like a really good ratio. Now in today's Yu-Gi-Oh, you usually play pending on, like, if you're using more draws and you can play less monsters, or searchers, you play less monsters. But like now, you would usually play anywhere from about 24 to about 30 monsters inside a deck, so that you can see your combo pieces and you can go off. So like trying to play with this ratio right here, like it's gonna be really difficult, and like a lot of the really good combos require you to have like an additional copy of something. So trying to come up with like the perfect recipe, this isn't the format for that. It's just literally, like I said earlier, keeping it simple. Use your staples and take advantage of, because when I played Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, I used to literally just play the card, and if that card got me a +1, you're playing a really good resource game. So when your opponent outs whatever you played on the field, like let's say you played gadgets, you played red gadget, get the green gadget, they get rid of red gadget, like alright, you got green, you summon green, you get yellow, they get rid of green, you summon yellow, and that process would keep repeating. That is the kind of play style or strategy you want to implement for this festival. I haven't actually created a deck for this festival. I'll probably throw together some cards that you guys should be playing, and then you can incorporate whatever engines you would like, because you're going to play most likely at least 2 engines to fill out the deck, because you don't want to be playing too many staple cards. You don't want to open up with a bunch of, like you don't want to open up Dark Hole, Raigeki, Happy's Feather Duster, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, and one other card and it's not a monster. Because like I said, with this ratio inside the Lunar deck, like the chance of you opening up with no monsters is really like, it's like you have a 50-50 chance of opening up with no monster, and that is what you don't want, because you want to inflict damage. So like playing with this Lunar deck would have you at a disadvantage. What's going on, Adrian? Everything cool? it's gonna have you at a disadvantage if you don't open up with a monster that can extend. Like what's it? Alistair. Playing Alistair is a really good card because it's gonna get you to a Macabre, so you could have a negate on board. You want to play those really good engines inside your deck. Like I said, at least 2 engines. It's probably going to run you into maybe 3 if you can get 4 engines in and they don't clash, because like I said, with certain engines you do have a decent amount of searches that you can use. Like just using the Alistair for example, go in terraforming, magical meltdown, get your Alistair, get to your invocation, and then you link and then make your Macabre, and you're doing this primarily off of 1 card to start it. You can also, like, if you're going to use that engine, incorporate, you know, another field spell. So if you go terraform and then you already open up with the magical meltdown, you can just get another field spell card and utilize that to your advantage, pending on what other engines you have incorporated inside the deck. But you don't want to overcomplicate things. Like I said, the ratio for modern Yu-Gi-Oh now has greatly changed from 20 monsters, 12 spells, 8 traps, or 20 monsters, 16 spells, 4 traps. It went beyond that long time. So your ratios when you play, especially in this format, you need those extenders. If you have searches, get those in there so that you can get to what you need and open up with an engine that's going to get you some kind of neg 1 for your opponent. Pop a card, negate something, banish something, because this is the format where you want to cause your opponent to go neg and you go plus. Similar to how Trishula effects work, being able to banish 3. You want to be using effects like that, and also effects that instantly allow you to go +1. I do have a couple of cards bookmarked that does that. I'll get to those. I just wanted to show you guys the Lunar Decks that they do have available for you guys. Whatever the hell this is, look like reptiles. Like I said, one of the cards that you should consider maining is the Scapegoats, because it is going to get you into a decent amount of link monsters that can go off. Be wary of other decks that they do have out there that are going to instantly put a neg on board. This is why I'm stressing and repeating myself over on making sure that the cards that you are utilizing are going to cost you to go +1 in numerous situations, so that you don't get out resourced because you only have 1 copy of each card to utilize. This reptilian deck, like I said, 20 monsters isn't going to cut it. You're going to need more than that. You're also going to need your searches. You're going to need your cards to break your opponent's boards. So far, I see that 2 of them are Crackdown. Like I said, Crackdown is a card that you could consider. My personal option that I would recommend is Evenly Matched. Hands down, Evenly Matched. Force your opponent to banish some things that they don't want, and you can go off from there outing. Because if you're playing your generic staples, like I said, Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, Regeki, and Dark Hole, if you're playing the 4 of those and you go evenly on your opponent, then you can switch the whole tide of the duel straight into your favor, because they're gonna have to banish some things. Remember, they can only have 1 copy of a card, so they can only have 1 Solemn. If they do have a monster negate, they can only have literally that 1 monster for the negate. But you mainly want to utilize cards like Evenly and your other staples like Ruler No More. If you can only play 1 copy, so you can neg all those troublesome monster effects on board that could potentially be negate, and then you can get some utility out of your cards, set up your board, and then take advantage of the duel from there. Always remember, you always want to play in the context, which has not changed, of trying to get a disruptor or a negate on board, so that you can control the duel to your pace, to your liking. That's it for the Lunar Decks. I'm going to actually show you guys a couple of cards and see what I can actually come up with on the spot. Not sure if Nibiru is going to be feasible. You can play it if you want, but it's not highly recommended, because like I said, a lot of the combo potential based decks you may not run into, and then on top of that, you would like literally have to open with Nibiru and playing your hand traps you can only have one copy of. If you want to play in the bureau, you can. Like I always tell you guys, play what works for you. You don't have to play what I play. You don't have to play what anyone else tells you play. Play what works for you. Gonna give you guys some options that you can consider so you can understand how it's going to work in this format. Like I also made a point earlier of having your searches, your spell cards, so you can search with your monster so that you can combo off. But I'm also going to show you a way that you can play, that you can also turn that off for your opponent going first, so that they can't do the same once you go off. Always be mindful and wary that your opponent is going to be playing those same generic cards such as Raigeki, Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather, Dust, all that good stuff. So I do recommend Imperial Order. If you don't open with it, you can only have one copy anyway, but opening with it is really good so that you can turn off those generic spell cards from either extending or clearing your board. So I do recommend the Imperial Order. The Protos is a really good card to have because you could special summon it just by banishing 3 monsters with different attributes from your graveyard and or face up from your field, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects, meaning those Lightning Storms, Raigeki, Darkhold, they aren't going to mean a thing versus this guy. Then you could select an attribute and destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute. Also, neither player would be able to special summon monsters of that attribute, depending on what your opponent's playing. If they're playing like mainly like a dark deck or fire deck or water deck or something like that, you can basically shut their deck down. So playing the 1 copy of Protos in your deck, regardless of what deck you're playing, it's feasible. You're most likely going to end up with 3 monsters in the graveyard, so you can utilize this card. You don't have to play sphere mode because there is no assurance that your opponent is going to get 3 monster bodies on board for sphere mode to even be legit. You don't want dead cards in your hand. You want to utilize as many cards that you can have live as possible. So we just, like I said earlier, keeping it simple. The Hydro Lander is really good. You can special summon it by banishing 5 or more monsters in your graveyard, and no monsters in your graveyard with the same name. You can only have 1 copy of each monster, so this summoning condition is already met. And then you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard to destroy a card on field. So he comes to the field as a 3k beat and an instant pop. So playing 1 of him in any deck is really good. You can also use the Mech Knights. The little Mech Knight engine is really good by playing 1 copy of Purple Nightfall. I think it's, let's go to related cards real quick. The Purple Nightfall, the Blue Sky, the Indigo Eclipse. You can also utilize Red Moon. He's good to get a pop off if you have, I think you have to banish a Mech Knight. And the Yellow Star for spell and trap card destruction. So you can incorporate a small Mech Knight engine because your opponent is going to have a monster body and a face down on the field, and you only have to follow up by doing the same, whether it's going into a link monster and then getting out a Mech Knight, or setting a spell or trap and getting out a Mech Knight, because your opponent's playing way more staples now, so they're going to have more generic normal traps on board. Infinite Impermanence, Magical Cylinder, Mirror Force, stuff like that. So you can, if you do decide to incorporate a small Mech Knight engine, just in the form of the Indigo Eclipse because it's a 2400 beta, the Blue Sky because it can add the Indigo Eclipse. Remember what I said earlier, you want to add in the cards that are going to get you to go +1 or more, so you can have a better resource game. So when your opponent does utilize their generic cards like Torrential Tribute and just like clear the board, you can still continue to extend or play Yu-Gi-Oh and take advantage. And where, because I have them still under as the related search, Purple Nightfall, and it's going to get you to the Blue Sky to get you into that Indigo Eclipse. So playing that small engine inside a deck is really good. It's going to be viable. are supposed to be in bookmarks. So you can play the Purple Nightfall. Also, the one copy of Pancratops in any deck is really good. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, instant special summon 2600 beta. Your opponent activates an effect to try to get rid of him. You tribute him and you pop a card on their board. Also, another really good card that may be underestimated in this format is going to be Fairy Tale Luna. Normal summon, you can add any of the I think they're the Fairy Tale Sisters, if I'm not mistaken. What they call? They have 1850 attack. I think it's about 4 of them. Can't remember what they name, but you can use her to acquire one of those. And because in this format your opponent is limited to 1 copy of every monster, when you trigger her effect to send them back, they have to go back because your opponent won't have an additional copy of that monster in their deck. So this is a card I feel that you should play inside your deck just to cause some disruptiveness. And 1850 for an attack is really good attack stats. The Nemesis Corridor was what I was talking about to get into the Colossus. If a monster gets banished, like I said, between the Hydrolander to banish the special summon itself and the Protoss, you then make Nemesis Corridor summoning condition live, and it's just going to get you to a Colossus to shut down your opponent, adding cards from their deck to their hand. Also, I don't like DPE, but I'm actually going to say this. I am recommending Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. You go off Destiny Fusion, send you 2 Destiny Heroes to the graveyard. Hold on, let's see if I can find the right 2. It should be for you to utilize. Oh boy, I wish they had this in alphabetical order. Where is he? Okay, you're gonna utilize Dasher, and where is the next guy? You can even utilize a Dusted Gold, but we're not gonna go that far because if you open with the spell, the spell is dead, so it's gonna become a brick. Where's the next one? Okay, what's his name? Celestial. So you can just go Phoenix Enforcer, destroy Phoenix Enforcer. If by some chance you get old resource and you have no cards in your hand, you can then draw 2 cards and, you know, bounce back in that duel. This is what I feel you should utilize. And like I said, I do not like the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. He's being, how to put it, hoard around, or horror. He's becoming a staple whore in a lot of decks. I'm trying to find a Destiny Fusion to put there for you guys. No, sorry, Fusion Destiny. Where is it? Oh wow, they banned it. That's crazy. You go from a format saying you can have 1 copy of every card and then say, oh hey, we're gonna ban Fusion Destiny, so now Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is unusable. That sucks. Alright, scratch that. Scratch that. Konami doesn't want you to, you know, take advantage of everything, even though the format says 1. Alright, you can scratch that, but it would have been a really good card to play. You can just go destroy Phoenix Enforcer off a card, and then, like I said, if you were getting old resource, draw 2. But Konami says no, we're not going to allow players to do that. Other cards that you should, for your hand traps, just put in your 1 Ash, put in your 1 Maxi, your Effect Veiler. You can go, if you have Ghost Ogre, I don't have the Ghost Ogre, you can go Ghost Ogre and Ghost Bell. Let me see if I can find those, so you guys just can have an idea. Ghost RG. Oh crap. Let's see, OGRE, sorry, I think I still spelled that wrong. OGRE. Ghost Ogre, your Ghost Spell. I think the other one is a water for the sister, but you don't need to go that far. But your hand traps, like I said, the Nemesis Corridor for your Colossus, because you want it. You most likely are going to be playing some kind of strategy that's going to banish a card or two, and your Nemesis Corridor is a way to get you there. At least you want to make sure that it's a monster that gets banished, and then you can shut your opponent out of adding cards from their deck to their hand when you go first. Also, it's an excellent extender, so if you're playing a Link based deck, it's also an excellent utility to be able to extend. Zeus, you can play, if you're playing like Zodiacs, you know, one copy of Zodiac. In the extra deck, you can just go one Zodiac. What do you say, Shimmy? You can just go summon your Zodiac and just go exceed summon Zeus, and you know, now you have a field wipe on board that can wipe the field at least twice. So using Zeus as a staple with, you know, incorporating the Zodiac engine is going to pay dividends. I promise you that. Like I said, your generic staples that you want to play: Regeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm. A copy of Ruler No More, because you do want to turn off those end boards. One copy of Droplets. Dark Hole. Oh, I don't know if Dark Hole bookmarked, but you guys know Dark Hole. Let me just put it there so you guys can see. You want at least 3 to 4 destruction cards, because you really want a field wipe, depending on what your opponent has. You don't ever want to be caught slipping. I'd rather have the card and not draw it than to not have the card in my deck at all, meaning that I won't have an answer to what my opponent's playing. I want an answer. So your 4 generic board wipes: Lightning Storm, Regeki, Dark Hole, Harpy's Feather Duster. Oh, lucky you. You get to watch streams while you on break. When I on break, I don't have that luxury. Your Ruler No More, so you can turn off your opponent's boards, as well as Forbidden Droplets, so that anything troublesome your opponent tries to set up, because you're probably gonna have, you know, 1 or 2 decks that may combo off, and you want to have a way to either board wipe or turn their boards off, and then have a fighting chance at playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Reborn, like I say, keep it simple, generic staples. If you're playing like numerous level 3s, you can utilize the Emergency Teleport. You could potentially play the Synchro Engine. I trying to remember what's his name that you summon off of. Anyway, that guy that gets you Assault Mode active, and then you can make a Synchro and then go from there. Shimmy, I don't know why they were so afraid of Winder. It's ridiculous. If you have a Kaiju Lava Golem, not Lava Golem, Kaiju, Santa Claus, Volcanic Queen, anything that just requires 1 tribute, and if she has company, then, you know, Lava Golem then becomes live, and Super Poly then is a thing. Oh, also guys, you can utilize Super Poly. I mean, it's only 1 copy, but yeah, you can utilize that as well as a staple if you want. I guess you can utilize the Call by the Grave. Your opponent is going to be playing hand traps. Maybe the 1 copy may pay dividends, maybe not. It's like player preference based off of what you're playing, so it's going to be up to you. 1 copy of the Impermanence, like I said, the Evenly Match, you want that so you can break boards. If you want, you can also play a copy of Twin Twister, so that you get 3 ways of dealing with your opponent's back row, in the form of Twister, Lightning Storm, and Harpy's Feather Duster. Then you would have Regeki and Dark Hole as monster clearance, and your Lightning Storm is going to be like the balance, as in where do you want to go: monster destruction, spell or trap card destruction. So you can, if you want to go like that. It's literally player preference, because like I said, you just want to keep it simple. Depending on what you're doing in your extra deck, part of Prosperity is going to play dividends. So I do recommend that you do play a copy if you know that you're not going to be utilizing a lot of your extra deck. If you're not going to be playing like the Zodiac engine that's going to run through like 5 cards out of your extra deck, because you're going to go exceed, and then make the Zeus, which should, I think, be 4 or 5 out of your extra deck. And then if you're playing like another engine that does the same thing, then you really wouldn't want to utilize the Part of Prosperity, because you would want your extra deck. But if you're not, you know that you won't have access to, you know, getting out numerous, like if you're playing Utopia does that run through the extra deck, you know, Utopia, double Utopia, then go into a Chaos Utopia and then into the Lightning or into another Utopia, which runs through about 4 extra deck monsters. So like I said, if you're not going to be running through your extra deck, Port of Prosperity is a really good choice. I see they have Neos Fusion not banned. So playing a copy of Neos Fusion with Neos and a Rainbow Dragon can also pay dividends in clearing your opponent's board off or resetting their graveyard so that they can no longer combo off. So with your generic wipes and then you go Neos Fusion, since you won't have access to destroy a Phoenix Enforcer, I do recommend that you play this and get your Rainbow Neos on board. That's all that I have bookmarked. So at this point you're looking at least 2 cards in the extra deck to utilize in the form of the Colossus and the Zeus, and you have at least 21 cards that you can main deck, meaning that you guys only need to come up with 19 cards between 2 engines, just 19 cards in between 2 engines, depending on what you want to play. Like I said, if you go to the Zodiac route, you're going to be able to fill out your extra deck quicker, get a Zeus on board for a board wipe. If you want to go birds can get you into those easy link 2s. What's it, the Utopia, I think that's what's he called, Future Hope, and then to go into Draco Future and get yourself an additional negate with a monster that cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Just run her over multiple simple. Yeah, you can do that, but first a lot of decks play a lot of monsters with low attack points, so it's not always that easy. Predator Anaconda, the Link one, I guess that works. But yeah guys, this is 21 cards already, and the only thing you need to do from here is to utilize what you want out of these 21 cards and then add in your other let's say 26 cards, because you may not want to play all these cards that I recommend, and it's going to give you excellent utility whether it's early game or late game. Because remember now, for the effect of Protoss and Highlander, they require you to have at least 5 or more cards, and the reason why I'm going with 5, because it's to ensure that you have Highlander's summoning condition set by having 5 more cards in your graveyard. Automatically, if his set, you already have Proto set. So if you go the route with what's it called, what are they again, Zodiacs. If you go Zodiacs, you automatically fill their summoning conditions. If you go birds, you most likely fill their summoning conditions. If you go, what's that archetype that's troublesome, Tri-Brigade. If you go Tri-Brigade, you automatically fulfill their conditions, because you know 2 monsters and a third that gets you the add, and then you summon it and then you banish, and then you know you make their link 4 and set the trap. Well, if you set the trap, you can't even make the link 4 again. But anyway, you can go the link 2 to get the trap and then set up to summon the link 4 as a disruptor. So you can go Tri-Brigade, you can go birds, you can go Zodiac, and these cards are going to get your utility in the deck. It's going to get your deck going and get you places, being consistent, getting decent bodies on board, and dealing a great deal of damage, because disrupting your opponent in this format is going to be dividends. It's going to pay dividends, and like I said, you have to watch out for these generic. Oh, one more card I didn't put in there, which what I mentioned earlier is the Imperial Order. Like I said, your opponent is going to be playing these staples, so you want to be able to turn them off if possible and not use your negate to have to like negate a Darkhold or a Geki. Did I even spell that right? Like to negate a Darkhold or a Geki, and then they go off on you. Where in the world is trying to find it for you guys. Hold on. Going to fix that right now. Let's go continuous traps. Traps, continuous. Oh, they have it banned? What? Oh boy. Coelma, that upsetting. That's upsetting. Yeah, they really trying to because they even have Fusion Destiny banned, because I actually was recommending the Phoenix Destroyer because it would have been a really good card, consistent pops, and it only costs you one card to play the summon. No, I'm gonna explain to you why. It's not going to be as inconsistent as you think, because in this format where you have cards limited to one, it's going to be harder to play core engines from a lot of other decks, because you're going to have to combine another engine within that deck to play that deck to try to get off its original combo, and you won't have the assistance of an extra copy to go off of. With Tri Brigade, remember how Tri Brigade works. One monster sends another monster that sends another monster that tells you to add another monster. Once those three go off, you can normal summon the one you add. You can banish two, summon the link off again, so you can get the trap card. So you can set up to special summon the link 4 from the extra deck as a disruptor, because that's what you want. So you could potentially set up and have like what's it called, Masquerena on board with the trap, summon the link 4, banish a card from the opponent's board, and then use Masquerena effect, and then, you know, go into a link 3, because I think that's all you're going to get, a link 3 if I'm not mistaken. But get a link 3 that can't be destroyed by card effects. And let's say you go Unicorn, that means you get a spin on your opponent's board, so you are really getting the most out of that deck. So even if you have like one of the Tri Brigade monsters in hand and you spin with Unicorn's effect, send it to the graveyard, the only thing you're going to do is trigger to send another Tri Brigade, to add a Tri Brigade, to send it to the graveyard, to add a Tri Brigade monster to your hand, to normal summon, and then combo off, if you get where I'm going. Oh, let's see if that port is available, because if Port of Adverse is available, I will recommend that you guys also consider playing that card. Because like having only one copy of cards, if you're going to be comboing off at that rate, or playing like how Utopia plays, where it goes, you know, double, regular Utopia, Chaos Utopia, and then Lightning, playing Port, you can send 5 of those Utopias back and draw 2 cards, so it would be like putting your whole extra deck back. Same thing with Zodiacs. They go exceed summon, Zeus, and then when all that goes to the graveyard, you go Port, put the Zeus and all of them back, and then do it all over again. But Port of I think I should have the bookmark. Hold on, I do believe I have that bookmark. Yes, I do. Yes, I do recommend that you play the one copy of the spell, so that you can recycle through recycle your how to put it, I wouldn't say engine, but cycle through your utility cards that you're going to be using. That's going to be key. Like I say, your searchers, if you're playing a warrior based deck, you know, Rhoda's, you know, mandatory staple. If you don't want to, you don't have to play the Neos Fusion, but playing the Neos Fusion along with like Ruler No More, Lightning Storm, and Forbidden Droplets is an easy board wipe. Same thing with Harpy's Feather Duster, just being able to turn off those effects, wipe your opponent's board, then go Neos Fusion. Puts a 4500 beta on board that can be protected from battle or destruction through Neos Fusion effect. This is where you're making your utility work for you. Like I said, I'm only recommending the Pot of Prosperity if you're not going to be heavily utilizing your extra deck and you only need a couple of extra deck monsters. Then you can go Prosperity, so you can get 2 more cards, sorry, to add 1 card from your deck to your hand, so you can have decent combo pieces in hand. But mainly these 10 monsters that I have up here. Alright, Jimmy, take it easy. These 10 monsters in here up top, in terms of your hand traps and you know, being able to pop a card on board. I think both of them destroy cards. He can pop 1 card, and the Hydrolander, sorry, Protos destroys all monsters on board of that attribute and restricts your opponent from special summoning, and the Hydro Lander gets you a pop on board. That Prankratops, like I said, 2600 beta and easy special summon. So if your opponent goes first, you're going second. Prankratops, and you can bait out an effect or a monster, or you can beat over something. Because if your opponent goes window, you can just go Prankratops and beat off that window and then pop another card with Prankratops. So you made one card do twice the work, and that's how you want to play in this format. The same thing with, like I said, with Luna. If you're going to play the Luna, because you can only have one copy, Luna is going to send back that monster 100% of the time, because you can only have one copy, and she's a free ad. The Corridor, because you're most likely going to have a monster banished depending on what you're playing, and you can just get into that Colossus and stop your opponent from adding. And then your hand traps, like I said, the Ghost Bell, the Ash Blossom, the Ghost Ogre, your Effect Veiler, your Maxi, just so you can have some sort of disruption. You can play the Nibiru if you want. I'm just going to put the Nibiru in there for you guys. But this just to give you guys excellent staples that you can incorporate in the other, or with the other deck engines, because it's just going to be you playing those engines at one copy of each card in this format. So it didn't make much sense building every single deck with just one copy of each of those cards. And like I said, utilizing 2 or more engines to get you where you need to go is going to pay dividends. That's what you want. So you're looking, and the key factors, like I said, being able to utilize 2 or more engines to get you where you want to go, have your hand traps ready for some disruptions, play your staples, and watch your monster ratio. You want to see more monsters than anything else, because either they're going to come in the form as one of your hand traps to either disrupt or slow your opponent down, or prevent them from doing anything sensible in terms of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then your generic staples in terms of your spells and traps. Like I said, the one impermanence, the one evenly matched, they are going to work for you. Your spell lineup, like I said, you're only playing 10 spells, 2 traps as staples. Everything else that you're playing as staples, everything else that you're playing in the deck, you really want it to be a searcher to get more monsters to your hand. So you can play, if your monster build is, like I said, about 24, just play searches so that you can get them, so that you can combo off. That's what you want. The key thing in this format is comboing off. You can also utilize Dark World, Dangers, so you can speed up your draw potential. You can even play Danger Dark World if you want. If you're going to play that, you're only going to be playing those cards at 1. You're going to get some, synergy, but it isn't going to be too great. If you're going to play like, we say Devontae, if you're going to play like the Danger Dark World, then I'm guessing, if you're going to play Dangers, then I would recommend that you play something like Orcus Engine, because Orcus isn't bad, but the whole Orcus engine isn't going to fill out the deck. And this is where another engine is going to come into play. And like I said earlier, you don't want to put in too many staple cards, because what's going to happen is, if you open up with Darkhold, Regeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Monster Reborn, Lightning Storm, and Arula No More, the most you can do is board wipe without inflicting damage, and that is not how you're gonna win duels. You're not gonna win duels effectively like that. Yes, you're going to be able to own monsters on the opponent's board, but here's what's going to happen. Your opponent is going to punch you in the face, and you have to wait for the following turn to respond. That puts you in a losing predicament, and that's what you don't want. You guys can also utilize the Utopia package. Your opponent leaves a monster on board, go and swing at that monster and try to get your OTK. Like I said, Zodiacs, Tri-Brigade, you can play birds, you can play Dangers, mix them with another engine, like I said, Orcus. You can play Dangers with what are they called, Burning Abyss, because Burning Abyss has a large pool for their monsters, so playing them at 1, you can really fill out a deck with them in Dangers. you may not need hand traps in that since you're playing dangers and with the Burning Abyss, because once they go to the graveyard their effects goes off, and then yeah. Devontae, reconsider that statement. I've seen some crap, and the only thing that comes to mind is that the person enjoyed getting punched in the face, and I think they were just, how to put it, mentally unstable. They wanted to get punched in the face. That's all it could have been. But yeah, so keep that in mind for this format. Not too many staples. Try to keep your staples small. If you want to play less of these staples, that's fine. Just make sure that what you're utilizing main deck wise, like not too many hand traps. You do want some sort of disruption, but keep in mind, if you're playing too many staples, and let's say you play in you have Ash, Ghost Ogre, yeah, you might Ash a odd, but if you need Ash a odd, let's say I'll use the Lunar for example, you summon the Lunar that says add a spellcaster, and no, your opponent summons the Lunar that says add a spellcaster, and then you go Ash to stop the odd, that 1800 beta is still on board, and that's gonna punch you in the face. And in this format where you can only have one copy of a card, that means the moment you summon a monster at any point in time of your opponent's choosing, that monster 100% of the time has to go back to your hand because you do not have another copy in your deck. That is why I recommended this card. So you're looking at, you played your Ash. Now summoning a monster is going to be troublesome because this is on board. This is going to force you to have to play another one of your staple cards. This is where you're going to get out-resourced by your opponent. You're going to have to hope that you have a Dark Hole, a Regeki, or a Lightning Storm so that you can out that Luna. If you're keep in mind your opponent is probably playing the similar staples. That means your opponent most likely has a Monster Reborn, or could potentially be playing Call It a Haunted or Back to the Front, and that Luna is going to be retarded and is going to return to the field, and that's where it's really going to get troublesome. So you don't want to pick up too many staples, because that situation is going to cause you to lose numerous duels. A lot of deck ideas and concepts that people may have, and they be like, alright, they slam this together, and then they realize by the time they start dueling, I'm picking up way too many staples. These are things that you have to foresee before you start dueling, before you even use the hand generate. I'm going to use that hand generating engine so you guys can see firsthand what I'm talking about if you have too many staples. Let me fill this out with just 17 cards. This is only 10 spells, 2 traps, and a disruption lineup. Let's go. I'll use Zeus, for example. Zeus and maybe one other engine. Or I could have done Dark World and maybe another engine, but like I said with the Zodiac, you just summon them and then you just to your heart's content keep. And they are 4 monsters, which is really good. That means you summon, you're going to go exceed summon, exceed summon, exceed summon, exceed summon, exceed summon, and then pop on that Zeus. And of a double board wipe clearance, that's what you want. Did I add this in already? No. Oh, they actually have 5. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you open up with one of those 5s, you can almost guarantee that you're going Zeus, depending on if you turn 1 or 2. You're probably going to want an engine in there for going first, so that you're not left at a disadvantage. Not sure what you should put in there as yet, because I'm just winging it at the moment, so I'm just doing this off the top of my head, but you guys get the generic understanding of what you should be doing and exactly how you should be playing. Even if they miss in the rat because it's banned, it's still fine. It's a really good engine with 5 Zodiac monsters that you just need to summon 1, so that's still really good. And this is why I recommended the Port of Avarice. I may even consider like playing with this, the Magical Stone Excavation, so you can get your Avarice back, so you can keep recycling this, because Zeus is a really powerful card. It's a really good card that you can trigger its effect right like back to back, even if your opponent, like if you need to bait on an opponent's effect and you go Zeus and then they go negate Zeus, then you can just go Zeus effect again and board wipe before the effect goes off to affect the Zeus well, it's going to affect the Zeus regardless, but the mere fact is you're still going to get that white. Then you can go pot and then put back these 5, well, actually 4 of them, and the Zeus, and then you still have 4 more Zodiacs in deck to do the same retarded thing again, which, like I said, is really, really good, with Zeus being a 3k beta attack and defense. And like I said, with like the Zodiacs and this engine, that's what gives credibility to these same 2 monsters right here, the Hydrolander and the Protoss, where you are guaranteed to have at least 5 or more monsters in the graveyard, and none of them are going to be the same name. So you're going to get a free pop to destroy a card on the opponent's side of the field, and then the Protoss is going to destroy all monsters of the attribute that you select, and your opponent won't be able to special summon monsters of that attribute. So that is why I am highly recommending these 2 cards with you, because you can fulfill the summoning conditions very easily, as well as the Pinkertops, because if you're going second, Pinkertops is excellent. Like I say, 2600 beta. If your opponent goes Winda, you go Pinkertops, beat that Winda off board, and pop a card your opponent's control. Even if your opponent has the Macabre, what's going to happen is you're either going to force out the Macabres in the gate, or you're going to beat that Winda off board. Like I said, Super Poly is another option, but you don't want to rely on the Super Poly. You can put in the Super Poly. Keep in mind, Super Poly is really good, but you have to keep in mind that it only works against an opponent who has the setup for the Super Poly. So if your opponent isn't playing a dark base deck, yeah, your Super Poly may end up just being garbage or a dead card, and that's what you don't want. That's why I say you want to put in the staples. But I would say to put in the Super Poly so that you don't be without. Incorporate the Super Poly, so if the situation does come up, you can Super Poly your opponent's board, or you can Super Poly with 1 monster on your opponent's board and 1 on yours, and it still puts you in a really good position. So yeah, utilize the Super Poly. I'm gonna put it in there for you guys to not sleep on the Super Poly, because it cannot be responded to, so that's also a plus. So even if your opponent has a negate on board, you can still gain some ground using Super Poly. These cards I don't have. When the event actually starts, I'm gonna be winging it so hard. And when I mean so hard, I can only play the cards that I have. So as you can see, I have 0 points in my CP for my ultra rare, so I most likely won't be playing Protoss. I do have like, I think 1,000, so I may go in the store and see if I can manage to put up 3 ultra rares to scrap and get this to play, or Pinkertops. No, I think I'll probably go Pinkertops over the Protoss, because like I said, easy special summon, 2600 beta, and a free pop instantly to respond to if my opponent does something like try to pop it or remove it from the game or something like that. Oh, also another trap card that I am recommending that should be there. What's that card again? Continuous trap card that takes control of the opponent's monster. Oh man, what's that called? Alright, I'm gonna have to manually search for that. Trap. Continuous trap. Oh, I guess I didn't need to hit trap. Let's go control. Wow, a lot of control in all these card stacks. Yes, Crackdown. That's it. That's the card name. Thank you, Devontae, Lifesaver. Now, trying to find it. Where is it? But I am recommending Crackdown because your opponent is going to summon potentially summon something retarded, and it's going to pay dividends having something to take control of that monster and use it for your own intent and purposes. Ah, crap, I spelled it wrong. There we go. I am also recommending this card. So that's some 30 cards in the deck, and then like I said, 1 more engine. Let's see, what should we utilize for another engine? Not burning abyss. I need something. Hold on. 3 or more level 4s, 5 or more level 4s, 4 and 3 level 4s. This is not the deck for level 4s. Let me see. No, that could work, you know. Could put in a couple of level 4s to get the Utopia package ruling, but then you'd have to incorporate the double or nothing, and yeah, I think that's gonna be a bit much since I'm playing Zodiac. Just 10 cards. Let's go dangerous. Let's see, so we can have some draw potential. Oh, we playing hand traps in this. That's not gonna work. If you're gonna play dangerous, like I said, play it with the Orcus. Now, if we weren't playing the hand traps, I would recommend, I would have put in dangerous and probably Dark World with Zodiacs. Kind of a weird mix, but it would work. Literally, it would work. Also, the super poly targets. That would actually be really good, because if your opponent, like I said, the opponent is going to be playing staples like Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, potentially Twin Twisters. So playing Awakening the Dragons with the Last Warrior would shut them out of summoning. So that's really good. The only issue with that is you can only have one copy of Awakening the Dragon. So if you don't see it, like, that kind of hurts. But it's still a really good card to have if your opponent is going to pop the back row. But the card is dead, like, you can't act. So if your opponent's going off, this is why I recommended these three traps right here. If your opponent summons something that you can utilize, or that can get them into a negate, or combo wise to, you know, extend and build a really good board, you can go crack down, take control of one of those monsters and stop that, like Haka Fibrax. Infinite Impermanence, because you know it can automatically activate from the hand and is a really good turn 1 disruptor, and then Evenly Matched, so you could break those overpowered boards. So you can go like Ruler No More or Forbidden Droplets, and then go evenly, and then force your opponent to be stuck with one card that you can just go Darkhold or Raigeki over Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm. So it would be an easy 2 card out to your opponent's board, and then you can then, like I said, if you go on with 1 card, like a Zodiacs, like I feel they have the most potential, being easy to open and get to that Zeus, and then you just pot and put all them back. I just had what I wanted to put in mind. Oh man, how in the world did I forget already? Oh man, what was I going to put in? Not Utopia. What in the world was I going to put in? I can't even remember what I was going to put in, honestly, guys. But just 10 monsters, and then I wanted to show you guys with the simulator for Hans why you should not put in too many. Oh no, I want a cursor. Why you shouldn't put in too many staples, because it's going to cause you in the long run to get punched in the face multiple times. I just need 10 monsters to put in here. That should give me a 24 monster count. And like I said, with too many staples, you may want to cut down depending on what you're playing. I just have these in here for you guys to utilize or to consider in your builds to help with the consistency of those builds and get the most utility out of your deck or your play style. Oh, the Utopia and the Rainbow Dragon isn't in here either, so that would also be 2 more cards. Let me just put those in there so they can be accounted for. Neos. There we go. Rainbow Neos, the regular Neos, then the Rainbow Dragon. There we go. Yeah, they're in there. So 8 more. Like I said, you really want to keep the engine simple that can get you going quick. Like I said, Zodiac does that. Either we can look at either birds, like maybe, oh, Tri Brigade. Oh, that's it, sorry. Tri-Brigade. Alright, this is what I was talking about right here. These four, and they just get you to your Revolt and your Link monsters that you can only have one copy of. You can special summon from your extra deck, except you can send one monster from your hand or field of the graveyard to add one Tri-Brigade monster from your deck with a different original type. Let's see, hold on, let me make sure I'm reading this right. Except Beast Warrior or Wing Beast monsters. Let's see. Alright, and Zodiac's fall right in that line, so you can actually utilize the Standoff and the Airborne Assault as searches, and then add one Tri-Brigade monster from your deck down with a different original attribute, and then go off like that for a searcher. Let's hold on. Target one Beast Warrior, Wing Beast type monster. You control special summon one from your deck. Also an excellent one, so if your opponent tries to pop or take control, like use the crackdown on you, you can then respond with the Airborne Assault. Mind you, you don't have to play all of these. These are just cards that you can consider playing in your build so that you can have a greater rate of success. What's this one? Ravenous. Target any number of linked Beast Warrior, Wing Beast type monsters you control, gain 700 attack. Okay, you won't have any need for that because you want more searches than anything else. Oh, that card for Beast Warriors. Let's see. That's, you literally play that in almost everything Beast Warrior, like Lunar Lights play it. What's that called again? Fire Formation. I think that's tanky. Fire Formation. Yeah, tanky. Yeah, I got it. For your search. Alright, that's 40 cards. So like I said, with the searches, you want as many searches as possible to get access to as many monsters as possible, so you can like literally combo off. If you don't want to play the hand traps, that's fine. You can cut those and you can add in even more monsters that can to utilize like another combo engine. You could potentially utilize you could probably utilize like that tangy Yangzing engine and get something going from there. Or yeah, because I think you can search. They should have two searches. One should allow you to dump, the next one should allow you to add. And if you go link into their link one and then special summon a tuner, you can then go hack a Fibrax, and then you can go Borload Savage, and what's the level for the Herald of Arclight. And also, if you can also play the little mini Sword Soul engine if you want. You can actually play that if you want. That's actually a really good deck to consider playing too. The Sword Souls with those Tangy and Yangzings, and then some staples. You should do really well with that combination of cards as well. You can also put in the Pancratops, as well as, like I said, you're going to have 5 or more monsters in the graveyard, so you should not sleep on the Orbital Highlander. It can get you a pop, and it's a 3k beat up. But definitely the one I would really consider you playing is the Protos, because once you pop all monsters of a specific attribute, your opponent wouldn't be able to special summon, which makes it harder for them to come back late game if you shut them out of special summoning that way. Let me just see if I can bookmark the Tangy, just a Tangy or something like that, so you guys can understand. Yeah, because you can go one copy, one copy, one copy, one copy, one copy, one copy, and play 6 of those as an engine. I think this one is the search rate. Special summon Tangy monster from your deck. Yes, this one I'm gonna bookmark. Sword Soul SW, and I don't even like sword souls. I like killing them almost as much as I like killing dragons, but for this format, they are going to pay dividends. Which one? This guy, the Moe. I'm gonna bookmark that. So you can also play the small engine using the Ecclesia, the Moe, the what he is, Long Yang, and go into those synchro plays because the tokens don't count. So yeah, that's what I say in Devontae. This particular festival is going to allow for smaller engines to see success. You're going to have at least 2 or more engines running in the deck to get it going or to have it consistent. I just bookmarking a couple of these cards so you guys can actually see just how, as these these archetypes come into my head on what should be consistent or work, how they're going to work. Like Sword Soul Emergence, it allows you to get a Sword Soul monster from your deck to your hand, so that's done a free add to get that combo going. This one targets a Sword Soul monster in the graveyard, and if you control a synchro monster, you could special summon one Whim monster instead. See that right there would then open up your Yang Zing or your Tengi engine if you are playing Yang Zing inside your deck. So you can play that build. Like I said, you can go the Sword Soul with the Tengi, and if you have space you can play the Yang Zing. If you don't want to play Yang Zing, you can then just incorporate some hand traps, or you can do what I said is like gold in almost any deck. Play Zeus. You play Zeus, you're gonna go off of 1 Zeus, turn 2 or more straight into a Zeus, and that's going to be troublesome for the opponent. Unless they have one of their board wiping cards in hand, it's going to be troublesome for them. Even if they go like Crackdown on your Zeus, like Zeus is going to wipe Crackdown off the field before its effect even resolves if the timing is right. So if they go Crackdown, you go Zeus, Crackdown is irrelevant after that. If you go Tri-Brigade, you can also go Tri-Brigade with Sword Souls. That's not a bad engine at all. And still, or you could use the Tri-Brigade, because Tri-Brigade should only be those 4 monsters. So you can utilize the Tri-Brigade. And like I said, playing the Nemesis Corridor, majority of these strategies are going to have at least 1 monster banished. So having a copy of Nemesis Corridor to go straight into that Colossus and stop your opponent from adding, using their staple cards to add for that archetype, such as the Sword Soul Emergence, reinforcements of the army, stuff like that, that's going to hurt because now it turns that card in their hand into a dead card. So like I said, I feel that between the Zeus, or a combination of the Zeus, the Sword Souls, and the Tangi, they are probably going to be the engines that are probably going to have the most success. Also, do not sleep on Dangers and Orcus. For heaven's sake, don't sleep on them. That combination, what I called earlier, can also work. Danger and Orcus. A lot of the Orcus players, they really only need 1 card, and then they can, their utility of recycling themselves off of their monsters' effects, they just go back and you can then reuse them again. So you can get some facility out of them. Spellbook of Judgment being unbanned. What does Spellbook of Judgment do again? I can't remember. Is that like draw 2 cards or something like that, or draw a spellbook, or draw a number of cards to the number of spellbook cards that activated that turn or something like that? Because I haven't played spellbooks in a while. A lot of archetypes I haven't played in a while. Let me just go to the card generator so you guys can understand what I was talking about with playing too many staples. Being able to draw a card for every spellbook play. Well, let's put it like this. Ash is a card. Droll is a card. Before Judgment's effect goes off, one of those spellbooks called Secret tells you to go get a card. Droll. Judgment goes off, cannot add cards from deck to hand. Ash is a card. They do that, it can be ashed. Judgment's effect. And if you're playing the mirror match, then you know that crossout designator. But basically you have Duel, you have Ash, so it isn't that big of a deal. And if you are so worried about that many spellbook cards going off, all you have to do is restrict the number of spell cards that can be played, or negate the spell card from activating. If the effect is negated, I don't think Judgment, I would have to check, do not quote me on this. Like I said, if I don't know something, I'm going to tell you I don't know, and I would check. But if the effect of the spell card activated is negated, I don't think that it counts towards Judgment effect for you to draw a card for it, since its effect was technically negated. The card was never activated, because its effect says for every spell book that was activated, if the effect is negated, I don't think that it would count towards Judgment's effect when it resolves. Alright, this is what I was talking about earlier. Because the ratio of cards that I have in the deck, just to show you the hand, Pinkertops, like I said, if you go in second, excellent getting him on board. 2600 beta, destroy a monster, pop an additional card, make him work. You have Monster Reborn in the deck, so you can go Pinkertops, Monster Reborn, whop your opponent again for 26, pop another card, make that Pinky work. Then, like I said, you open Caius for your Tri-Brigade. Really, you don't want to open with him. You actually want to open with any of the other ones, and then use him lastly, so that you can actually banish. You have Ghost Bell to disrupt the effects that would move cards from the graveyard. Your Tri-Brigade Revolt, meaning that, well, you cut your combo short, you won't need to go link 2. Also, you can put the, I didn't put the IP inside the extra deck, but you guys know. And then the Elemental Hero Neos is actually a brick, but if you open with the Neos Fusion, you're there. If Verte isn't banned, play the Verte. You can get 2 monsters on the board easy. Go Verte, go Rainbow Neos. So play the Verte. Let me go back to the deck so I can put that in there, the Verte, and then also your Super Poly targets. Verte. I spelled that wrong here. Let's go. Anaconda. Wow, they got the Verte bond. Oh man, this is crazy, because I wonder why I searched and can't find it. Thanks, Koema. Konami know what they doing. They really do know what they doing. They banned the Fusion Destiny. They banned the Verte. They don't want you to get no synergy for that Neos Fusion. But Neos Fusion is going to come in handy if you don't want to play it because of fear of drawing into the Neos and the Rainbow Dragon. That's completely understandable. You can cut those 3 cards. That's why I say this is just to give you guys an idea of what you can actually play. Haka 5-box Brant. Wow, Hockey Bond. Wow, they really don't want no one to combo off. Oh boy. And I thought that was actually playable. Me here saying that you can actually do things that Super Poly is in banned, so you can take that route. Still 1-card combos to Vante. Like I said, if you play in Zeus is the easiest 1-card combos, just to go exceed, and then go Zeus. Very simple, really disruptive. 3k attack, 3k defense, and then you just put all those shenanigans back and do it all over again. Like I said, in fear of bricking, if you do want to take out the Neos and the Rainbow Dragon and the Neos Fusion, you can do that. That's fine. But it's just something that you can consider because Rainbow Neos effect is really good. Now that Verte is actually banned, I would advise to take it out. You can play it, but I'm actually going. Only reason I'm not taking it out is because of the sample hand. Well, I can take it out and just add 3 cards. Because you don't have access to the Verte, because either you would open with it or you get 2 monsters on board, and then you go into the Verta and you get your Rainbow Neos on whatever turn you need it, and then Rainbow Neos just sends all monsters back or clears the back row or reset your opponent's graveyard. Super poly targets, Starving Venom. Let me see if Winder is banned. If Winder isn't banned, expect to see Winder. I kid you not, expect to see that Winder. What you say, Ernest? Yeah, I actually was trying to surprise you guys because I did order my camera for my streams, and it should have been here from over a week ago, but technical difficulties due to where I live. But it should be here sometime next week. And when I stream, you guys can see everything in living color. All the facial expressions, all the emotion, all the energy, everything in living color. Real D4D IMAX. Whatever quality the camera is, you guys are going to see all of that live. But I wanted to surprise you guys with the very next stream for that. I do have plenty videos to make for you guys. I haven't even finished the video for Raid Raptors for season 5 to upload that for you guys, so you guys can see how Raid Raptors did last season in Platinum Tier 1, which they did some damage. They really did. Like I said, go and turn first, setting up that board. If your opponent doesn't open up like that sphere mode or something like that, it's almost redundantly stupid. They can't really do nothing much. Oh wow, that's great. That's great. What's it called? What are you actually taking up in college? Like, what career choice? Guys, the window isn't banned, so expect to see this. And this is why I said I'm actually going to stick with what I said about making sure you have that super poly, because you may end up seeing both window and the Macabre. Oh, that's also another engine you can add in. You can just add in the Alistair, and Alistair would work for you. Crazy as in crazy good. That's actually interesting. And then use the Dogmaticas. Alright. But Devontae, try not to dwell on having another turn. Always try to make sure, and this is always key, and it has been true from the dawn of Yu-Gi-Oh! Try to win a duel as quick as possible. The more turns you give your opponent, the greater chance they have of coming back in the game if you cannot control their rate of consistency. Are you in a pharmacy program? Alright. Just don't overdose or not. No, have anyone overdose. I haven't seen the ban list yet, but I will look more into options when it. Alright. I haven't seen the ban list at all yet. That's why you see when I call certain cards and you like it banned, I'm like, wow. You have say limited to 1, but you still have certain cards banned. I was hoping when they said limited to 1 that all the cards that they had banned, that they would have lifted them for this event, because it would have been really good to play Porter Greed and play other staple cards that are actually banned, because when you look at it, you can only have 1 copy of a card. So trying to hit your combo, the combo that would like be considered broken or something like that with the card, is going to be very, very slim. So them making every card restricted to 1, even the banned cards, would have been really good for this format. I kid you not. It would have gotten more people into this format. It would have dragged them in, because who wouldn't want to play Porter Greed? Super poly targets. You're gonna go Starving Venom. I should have just thing them to search, you know. They ban True Dracos, or is True Dracos restricted to 1 as well? Because they may still be able to get some utility of their cards and just play more hand traps or something like that. Because if all the cards is restricted to 1, Yeah, they may not have the multiple copies of, but it's still going to be kind of annoying having to deal with them multiple hand traps and a built-in Zodiac engine, because then they can just go like I showed you. The Zodiac engine is really good in this format. You just summon one Zodiac monster and you go exceed, Zeus, and then that's trouble. That's what I'm saying. If they had done it where the bond cards were lifted to 1 as well, it would have dragged people in. Draco Dynamite is banned. I'm going to type in their archetype to see what they do have available. Fusions. Let's see what we can come up with. Super poly. Hold on. I should be able to search super poly targets. Nope, that didn't work. There are no super poly targets to search. You just have to wing it. Manually, you have to look in that regard. There we go. This for 3 darks is always that. Starving Venom, the Muddy Mud Dragon. Oh man, this is tough. 2 Destiny Heroes, no. Hold on, what's Colossus criteria? 1 Thunder Dragon, 1 Thunder Dragon monster. Oh, okay, you ain't too worried about that. This guy, so you can put a token negate. Like I said, you want a negate on board. Yeah, the Predator targets are always on Starving Venom, but it's at least 2 more to incorporate. One of that's highly underrated as well. Level 6 or higher hero monster and a Destiny hero monster. You may be able to actually utilize, well, no one really playing the Fusion Destiny, so well they can't because it's banned, but you wouldn't really consider that for a super poly target. Trying to find the really good targets that you are going to see. Where are the really good targets, man? What the hell is this? Good beast. Oh, I need to come back to read that effect on a later date. Where is it? They have so many fusion monsters. This is ridiculous. This really should have been in alphabetical order because I could have just scrolled down to it. Almost to the bottom. Either I've overlooked it. I most likely overlooked it. Arg. Hold on, don't tell me Starving Venom banned, because that could be another reason why it's not showing up. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, that may just be banned. Exactly, that's the same thing I said. Legacy search system was so much easier. It was so easy to search cards, like it was ridiculous. This just is a real pain in the rectum. Real pain in the rectum. A couple of the fusion super poly targets I do not even see about inquiring because it's an invoke target. Let me see something. Invoked. Okay, this is the target I was talking about here. If they go Macabre on the window, this is the target that's really good. The Asylum, because you get a 3200 beta. If not, then it should be the Draco Stapelia here that you could fuse with a fusion monster and 1 dark monster. Winter is dark and what's his name? Macabre is a fusion monster, so you can use him, or you could use the Asylum from Invoke. Any one of those two. Draco Stapelia probably be the easiest one because you are most likely gonna see that window. The issue is with Macabre, you're not always guaranteed to see that dark. That's the issue. That is why the Asylum is good, because Macabre is an invoked, and then once your opponent has a monster special summon from the extra deck, that could be Link, Synchro, Fusion, Exceed, you can make this guy. You see, this is why I would recommend this for a super poly target. Let me see if I can search out that Starving Venom and make sure I ain't freaking out. Starving VEN. Wow, and it doesn't even come up in the search. I honestly believe, guys, that is banned. Let's just type in Venom and see what comes up. VENOM. Before that, we can go ING. Okay, name on it. I just was spelling it wrong. Okay, good. Starving Venom. Muddy Mud Dragon. Because I was gonna say that I'm now having a headache with the number of cards that they actually banned. I guess that isn't what it's called. Let's go Mud Dragon. DRA. There we go. Your super poly targets. We could cut this out because we cut out the Rimoneos. Your Asylum, your Tripulnova, your Draco Stapelia, your Starving Venom, and your Mud Dragon. Those are your super poly targets, so you should be able to hit all 5 of those off. Like I said, Colossus, easy summon once you have Corridor, because you're most likely gonna have a monster banish. Zodiac, one of the very easiest engines to run. One Zodiac monster gets you a troublesome Zeus with double board wipe. Also Tri Brigade, another troublesome engine. And also do not sleep on the Danger Orcus or the I have it bookmarked. Hold on. Bookmark. Where is that archetype? Where are they? I did bookmark those. The Tangy Sword Souls. Do not sleep on those. Those other 2 decks and this variant, do not sleep on them. I'm not sure how efficient birds are. I've never played birds before. I know how they work, but not sure how efficient that they're going to be getting into 2 Link monsters. Sorry, 2 Exceed monsters to make Draco Future to go into... Sorry, into... Utopic Future to go into the Draco Future. If the birds combo is live, I would recommend that you can also incorporate that as well. I think that's lyric, however you pronounce that. Let me see if I can get that up. YCR, let's see. Ah, crap. Nope, still spelled that wrong. Which combo? Crusadia Kai. Yeah, Crusaders. Yeah, I just remember that. Crusaders are also going to be a thing. The only thing is with the engine, because you're thanks Devontae. The only thing, like I said, being with a lot of the archetypes restricted to 1, a lot of the combos aren't gonna be as consistent. As much as I would like to play Raid Raptors, that's gonna be a tough one. That really is. I may be able to get some synergy, but I'm probably gonna have to mix that with Black Wings to literally go full combo and get something to go off. But I won't have access to like 2-4 Strix, which the combo utilizes. I'll probably have to go with something a little more simplistic, with like straight into an Ultimate Falcon or something like that, and then just set up for the Caluga. Probably something like that I may end up playing, if not something along what I've mentioned earlier. Oh, the bird seem playable, because I think once you go a bird, you should be able to just add another card or something like that, however they play. If this card is special summon, you could add a Lyricsy spell or trap card. Okay, you need that to be special summon. So you just go 1 for 1 to try get this out. If you control a wing beast, you could special summon one level 1 wing beast monster from your hand. No double fusey. What you mean no double fusey? If it's got a special summon, add one level 1 wing beast monster from your deck. Yeah, boy, it look like you could need 1 for 1 to really go off. If this card is in your hand, you can target one Legacy monster in your graveyard. Special summon both. Means you're gonna need the candy. What's this? Take one Legacy monster from your deck and either. Okay, this is a searcher. Oh yeah, no fuzzy, no fuzzy. Oh man. And fuzzy is one of the real goats when it comes. Oh, I really need to get to getting that video the way, getting you guys a really solid base for Raid Raptors, and then you guys can play Raid Raptors CR. I really need to do that. Oh man, I don't want to wait too long. What today is? Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On Sunday, I'm gonna do that for you guys. I'm gonna do it. I promise I'm gonna do that for you guys. Sunday, I'm gonna show you a video with the most horrible Raid Raptor play plays I've seen in my life that motivated me to really want to give you guys a decent base and the one combo that you need to know for Raid Raptors that can get you into anything that you want. Once you know that combo, you can play Raid Raptors any way you like, because the combo just revolves around going through a specific series of cards, and it only starts with 3 level 4 monsters. I said they don't even need to be wing beasts, they just need to be 3 level 4 monsters, and it's irrelevant after that. And I'll show you guys that Sunday. Yeah, birds seem to be somewhat playable. Like I say, the engines are going to be really small simply because everything is restricted to 1. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds. I think that's the same thing with the zoos, 5. But the only thing is you would have to have 1 special summon to trigger and go off. But zoos would top birds though. Zoos would definitely top birds, because like I said, with the zoos you're just gonna go exceed into that troublesome Zeus, and then yeah, your opponent is going to have some trouble. Alright, that was just to look into birds. I'm not gonna put that in here. I still need to put in 3 cards. I think I'll just put in 3 more staples just to show you how traumatizing it's gonna be when you play multiple staples. Let me cut a card out of the extra deck. Let's see, we're keeping those. We could probably get rid of a fusion target. Because you have the Starving Venom, fusing 2 darks is probably going to be good enough. You may not frequently fuse into the Trinovia, so we can get rid of that. You do, like I said, you want to keep the Asylum, simply because they can go Invoke Macabre and don't have, because remember now, the Invoke Macabre would be your fusion monster and the Winder would be the dark, so you get the Draco Stapelia. But if they go Macabre and they don't have a monster spec, if they go to Macabre, the Macabre would act as your invoked material, which would have been your fusion material. But if they don't have a dark but they have a monster from the extra deck, that's where your Asylum comes into play, because once it's a monster special summon from the extra deck, you can super volley and whatever that troublesome monster. It could be a what's it called? It can be a Borrowload Savage. It could be anything that's a negate from the extra deck. So if they go Macabre with another negate, you can super poorly get a 3200 beat on board and don't have to worry about 2 negates. Right, 96 outside today. Oh yeah, today was, oh man, you guys don't even know. It's crazy. I literally ran through a gallon of water in about 3 hours. No cap. I'll just add in 3 staples. I will also go over the other decks that I mentioned again. For those who just joined in the stream, I'm just going to add in a couple more staples. I'm just going to utilize... Do we have any warriors in the deck? Let me just check real quick. Nope. Oh wow, that wouldn't be a bad add, you know. This is actually really good. Hold on. This isn't bad at all. DOUBLE. The double evolution pill. Because you have to banish a dinosaur and a non-dinosaur monster, and then you could add a dinosaur monster level 7 or higher from your deck. You could just special summon it. So you can go double. No, what's the other pill? Sorry, I think it's another pill. And add 1 reptile, sea serpent, or wing beast monsters original level as the destroy. I think you can actually use this. Hold on, let me make sure I'm reading correctly. Wing beast monster level 1. All zoos are beast warriors. Tri brigade. Flawless beast warrior. Yeah. You can actually use this to actually start your combo. Wow. So that's going to be a monster for a combo starter. You can use the pill so you can get... Let me just ting him, because I think it's another pill if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Ultra Evolution Pill Tribute, and then special summon a dinosaur monster from your hand. No, not that. Okay, yeah. So you can actually use this, but you would need the effect of a dinosaur. You do have access to Pancratops, that's a dinosaur, and you also have access to the Alcorosaurus. Do we have any dinosaurs in our extra deck? I don't think so. No dinosaurs. It would be really cool if we had a dinosaur in the extra deck, but you can banish a dinosaur monster and 1 non-dinosaur monster from your hand or graveyard and get your ultimate conductor Tyranno. And I think he is a banish. I would have to check, but the pill is in there that you can utilize. Let's go ultimate conductor. Because popping your own cards isn't really bad. Like I say, also you really want more searches. There's the 1 conductor that you can only have. Or you have to banish 2 dinosaur monsters from your graveyard. So you can, if you want, incorporate a small dinosaur engine. Because like I said, this right now what you're looking at, these are cards for consideration. You can actually cut out. Okay, we're using this for Tri Brigade. You can actually cut out a few cards well that you won't be utilizing. I'm going to give you the example that I was trying to show you guys earlier with having too many staples, how it's going to be detrimental to your health. But you would be able to cut out a couple of cards, probably a couple of hand traps that you may not need because you just want the utility route. Let's go with the test hand so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, look at that. This is what I'm talking about, that Zodiac engine. Just 1 card and you go off. Now you have droplets to support you and your Crackdown to take control. You don't need to play the Crackdown. You don't have to. It was just a card for consideration. You can actually cut that out for another card, but it's just to show you guys and give you guys an example. Your Port of well, I actually need to take out that Port of Prosperity because we're heavily utilizing our extra deck. But I just have it there to show you guys that if you're not heavily using your extra deck, you can use it to add a card that you actually want from your deck to your hand. But I'm keeping it there just so you guys can know that it's a card for consideration. But you can actually take that out. You can take out the Crackdown. You can take out the impermanence. You don't have to play the impermanence. Take out the crackdown, the impermanence. Only the cards that you need, which would be the revolt for your disruptor, to banish a card, and the evenly match to break your opponent's board. This is going to search for you. This is also going to search for you. If you want to play just the airborne, you have to target a beast, warrior, wing beast type monster. You control, special summon a beast from your deck in defense position with a different but negate its effects. Also, you can special summon. Oh, you'd only be able to link if you play this. I mean, it isn't barred because it's going to get you into your Tri-Brigade plays. So yeah, you can play this. If you want, you can actually cut it. You really just want this for the search here, so that you can add a Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to your hand and legitimately go off on your Tri-Brigade plays. Or Fire Formation tanky. It can get you your Tri-Brigade, and it can also get you your zoos. So that's why this is heavily recommended to stay in for these set of cards. But you can cut the impermanence, the crackdown. You can cut this, that's 3 cards. You can cut the pot, that's 4. And this is so you can incorporate dinosaurs, at least 4 more. Oh wow, alright. That's awesome to know. Ecclesia. I was saying that you could actually play the Ecclesia with the Sword Soul. So like I said, you do have, and that's one of the decks that I said to also look out for, that combination with the Sword Souls. You can play the Ecclesia and you can play the Tangy in it and get excellent results with some staples, because you can literally you can even probably extend it and play the zoo engine in that as well, because yeah, your opponent may be playing hand traps, but here's the thing: if your opponent is playing a hell of a lot of hand traps, that means that they better have the best 1-card engine in the world, which is zoos, like I said, or they're gonna find themselves getting punched in the face multiple turns. And I'm gonna show you that example with the generated hands. But that's 4 cards right there that you can add in 4 dinosaurs for. You do not have to play the ruler no more, and you do not have to play the forbidden droplets. The boards aren't going to be as dramatic as you think. You do not have to play the Nibiru. You have board wipes in the form of Darkhold, Regeki, but to be on the safe side, I would say to play them. To be on the safe side, but you don't have to. You can actually take those out, the droplets, or you can just play the 1-up. But like I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry and keep those in. Your board clearance cards, your 4, which would be your Darkhold, Regeki, Harpies, Lightning Storm. They staples, you would want to play those. Monster Reborn you're going to want to play, and Pot you're going to want to play so you can recycle through. But those 4 cards, you can take out the Nibiru because it's only a 1-of, and it's no guarantee that you're going to open, or that your opponent is even going to have a combo based deck that's going to extend that far. They may actually play a really simplistic build and just outplay you and out-resource you in that department. So you can cut the Nibiru. You can cut the Hydrolander. You can actually cut it if you want. But the one, like I said, that I recommend that you should play is the Protos, because it's going to restrict your opponent from special summoning once you select that specific attribute. And the Pinkertops, I can't stress that enough. The Nemesis Corridor, you're going to be banishing cards, so getting out that Colossus to stop your opponent from adding is just going to play dividends. Also, the Luna, highly recommended. Everyone can only play 1 copy of a card. That means 200% of the time, whatever monster on board she wants to send back to the hand or the extra deck is going there. Plus, she can add any of those other fairy tale monsters from the deck to the hand. So if you want to play any of the other fairy tale sisters in conjunction with her, summon her, she adds them back. Your opponent summons a monster, she comes back to hand to add you another sister. So you're going to out-resource your opponent and push monsters back in their hand. like I said, you can cut any of the hand traps that you feel that you may not have any need of. And let's go to the hand generator so I can show you guys what I was talking about. Oh, not dismantle, sorry. Wrong category. Draw sample cards. Show you guys real quick. Like I said, Zeus, easy card openers. You just go exceed summon, and it literally becomes irrelevant after that. And then the same thing with your Tri Brigade. Easy. Once you get anything else except for I forget what the level 1 is. Anything else except for that, and you're gonna send to the graveyard. And see, 1 card starter right there. You can get either your Zodiac engine or your Tri Brigade engine, and then you have an Ash and a Maxi. So if your opponent decides to add, you can turn it off. If they want to special summon multiple times, Maxi, you get your extra extensions. Draw 1 more card. There's your double pill, evolution pill, so you can get that ultimate conductor Tyranno if you need it. Let's draw another 5 card hand. Look at that. Zoos are paying dividends. 1 card opener, you just go exceed Zeus. Then you have a troublesome monster on board. Your Tri Brigade card to add a Tri Brigade monster from your deck to your hand, and like I say, combo starter. The Tri Brigade monster, no, not the level 1. I think he's the level 2. You actually, I think, want the level 1, because when he goes to the graveyard, you could add a Tri Brigade monster from your deck to your hand. Sorry, it's a level 2. So another Tri Brigade starter. So you could go Zoo, Tri Brigade, and you're gonna see really good results. So if you want to go Zoos to open up, or you want to go, mainly you want to go Tri Brigade. Your opponent somehow manages to clear out that board, you then go Zodiac, so you can go into Zeus and have a disruptive board wipe. But accompanying that is your Ash to, even though you have 1 copy, you're not going to see it as often, but you're going to get that Ash drop, that +1, and the Nibiru if potentially your opponent decides to extend. Like I say, you don't have to play it. You can always swap out to compensate for the dinosaur engine for that double evolution pill, and add in a couple of more dinosaurs. That can bring you a great deal of success. You're going to +1 in case you're going second. There's a Vela. Like I say, you can't go wrong with certain builds. Now, this is the troublesome thing right here. When you have this line up here, because you have to send a monster from your hand, from the field to the graveyard, to add 1 Tri Brigade monster from your deck to your hand. So if you don't open up with any monsters, this card dies. Raigeki is useless unless your opponent has a monster to pop. You can't play this until you get 5 monsters or more in graveyard, which the Zodiac engine does that. The Tri Brigade engine also does that. So this card goes live off those 2 engines to recycle all of your shenanigans. You can't activate this yet because you need a dinosaur and another card. Even if it was another staple card, it's most likely going to be dead, like Harpy's Feather Duster. Your opponent has something in the back row, like your opponent during the turn is still punching you in the face. The Keris, his effect is discard another Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast type monster. Special summon this card from the hand, bonus any number of Beast Warriors or Wing Beast type monsters from your graveyard. Special summon. This card, unless you have multiple monsters in the graveyard, you can't even hit the Tri Brigade combo, but you can send it off this. Like I said, if you open up with no monsters, that's where the trouble comes in. If you have too many staples, if your build doesn't contain a decent amount of monsters to open with. Let's go back to the deck so you guys can see that this deck has 22 cards and we only open up with 1 monster. So you really do want to have more monsters in your build than anything else. That's why I gave you guys, or highlighted, the cards that you can cut, so you can increase. There's at least 4 cards that you can cut to increase your build to 26 monsters. And your searches, you have at least 3 searches in the deck, so that bumps it up to 29, which gives you a really good chance at opening and comboing off. Back to the test hand so you guys can have a really good example of what I'm talking about. Fairy Tale Luna, excellent opener if you're playing another Fairy Tale, or if you're playing the Familiar Possess archetype. You can also add those. Whatever she bounces back has to go back and summon again and keep going +1. Your Super Poly, finally, so you can have an answer to your opponent's board. So maxi to extend, evenly match to break their boards. This allows you to add a Wing Beast monster whose original level is 1, so you get to start off one of your combos. You're going to draw one more card, Dark Hole, and this is what her trade there. Drawing the Dark Hole instead of another monster. So like I said, you want a more heavier monster build than anything else, unless your spell cards or searches or extenders that can get you to the monsters that you want. If they aren't that, then you're gonna find most of the time that you're bricking or not picking up that cards to be able to combo off. Like I said, with the Zodiac engine, it's really good, and you're gonna get your extension plays and be able to make plays, get monsters in the graveyard, make that part of Adverse live, as well as the summoning conditions for either the Hydrolander or the Protoss, so that you can restrict your opponent's summoning or be able to pop a card on their board. Another 5-card hand. There's your Revolt, so you don't even have to search for it. There's Kit. Kit, send another one, send to add again, and your Tri-Brigade combo goes off. There's your Pinecrotop, so that you have a 2600 beta and pop one again. You can then tribute a monster and then be able to special summon another Beast Warrior, Wing Beast type monster from your deck, meaning that you can go from Tri-Brigade to Zeus, because your Zodiacs are Beast Warriors. Ghost Bell, if your opponent goes Monster Reborn or any effect in the graveyard that you want to neutralize, you're going to draw one more in case you go second. Going second isn't bad, you draw that ruler no more. So if your opponent sets up, turn their board off, and then you can then combo off and go Pinecrotops, hover to beat over something, and pop, and then your Tri-Brigade engine into your Zodiac engine. Going second, that means you're going to get that Zeus. Your opponent's board is off. Pinecrotops is going to pay dividends. You're going to have that Zeus, Pinecrotops, the Ghost Bell in case they try to recover from the graveyard, and set your Revolt so that your Link 4 comes in as an additional disruptor. Moxie, if your opponent decides they want to extend, this is another 5-card hand. Like I said, the Zodiac engine, and I cannot stretch this enough. 1 card, and you can get to a troublesome Zeus. Your Tri-Brigade standoff, so you can get to your Tri-Brigade plays. Pinecrotops, like I said, body pop 1, and the tanky, like, you can't go wrong. Whether you want to go Zodiac or you want to go Tri-Brigade, it's going to get you there. Draw one more card. Impermanence going second. You can either Beto to negate or turn off a monster effect, because if your opponent has an Omni negate, they can negate the infinite impermanence. But once you get that effect out of the way, it's Delia from there. You go Pinecrotops, 2600 beta, you can either beat off the window and then pop a card on board and just go off from there. Another 5-card hand. Look at that, the Zodiacs are paying dividends. Your Ghost Ogre, your opponent activates an effect because they're playing generic cards. You can use Ghost Ogre's Ghost Ogre's effect, pop that card, Harpy's Feather Dust to clear that back row, go off on a Zodiac monster, exceed, troublesome Zeus, board wipe twice, and it's like GG for your opponent after that if they don't have like a generic board wipe like a Regeki, Dark Hole, or a Lightning Storm or something like that to deal with that Zeus. And then your Ghost Well to hold the opponent off in graveyard, and your 6th card would be the air. And you see how these cards are working together in synergy, and this was literally off the top of my head, as well as the other 2 decks to look out for. And it's just basic deck knowledge. Once you have an understanding of certain engines work, you can get really good consistent results out of it. Yeah, Devontae, that's what I'm saying with Fairy Tale Luna. Her effect 200% of the time guarantees that you can bounce her back on an opponent's monster because they won't have an additional copy in their deck. Meaning that if she summons again and you have multiple monsters with 1850 in your deck, you're going to keep plussing 1 while sending back a monster that may cause your opponent 2 or more cards to summon. Exactly, you understand, Devontae. Capitalist Serpent and Wavering Buster combo. No, not really. You don't want to rely too heavily on cards or rely on cards in the graveyard in this format, because hand drops are down to 1. That means you're going to see DD Crow and other cards that can interact with the graveyard. What's the other card? Skullmeister. You're going to see those cards. So like the graveyard interaction, they're going to have, you know, some stops to those. So you don't want to have your strategy to focus on things in the graveyard that you really don't. Back to this hand, like I said, Zodiac's paying dividends to be able to go into Ankylosaurus, and you're going to be able to this gets you your evolution pill. Wow, you're actually going to be able to get into your Tri-Brigade plays as well from this guy. Draw your 6th card and be looking at Pot of Adverse, and you just reshuffled all of your shenanigans plus draw 2 cards. Because remember, you're putting back 5 cards from your extra deck. This is like playing Pot of Greed on steroids in this format with this kind of strategy. Next 5 card draw. Oh man, you evenly matched the break board. You got your 2 Tri-Brigade monsters, so you know your Tri-Brigade combo is going off. You can get into your Zodiac plays. Zodiac is Beast Warrior. Sorry, you wouldn't be able to get into it with him, but he can get you your double evolution pill and still allow you to go off for that ultimate conductor Tyranno. Lightning Storm clears the back row. Between that and evenly matches, like evenly, your opponent chooses whether they want to leave a monster or whether they want to leave a spell or trap card in the back row and then just follow up with the Lightning Storm. Easy board clearance break. 6 card to draw Raigeki. See that? You can bait out an effect. So even if your opponent you go evenly and your opponent has a negate, then you just go Lightning Storm and bait out the effect and then Raigeki right after that, and then set up your Tri-Brigade board for disrupt the following turn. Next 5 card hand, and this is just to show you why you shouldn't have too many staples or hand traps. Like, you have Ghost Spell, yes, you can stop the graveyard interaction, but if they play something like Zoos or the Utopia Engine, they're just going to be summoning over, and that's what's going to hurt. There's no guarantee that you're going to open with the Nibiru. It's just going to be winging it. That's why I said you don't have to play it. You have your Revolt, and you're going to need to, or you have to tribute for the Airborne Assault. So you don't have to play this card, but I just have it in there just for the 40 card sake. 6 card to draw the Protoss, and you still need at least 3 monsters in graveyard to banish. We haven't even drawn the Nemesis Corridor, but that just to show you guys, just by only having 1 card in the deck, how much harder it is to get into those plays or being able to lock your opponent out successfully. That last 5 card hand just for you guys, like I said, the zoos pay dividends as being 1 card combos. And the bunny is really good because its effect says during your opponent's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or effect that target. Oh no, never mind, scratch that. It has to target this card. You can detach one exceed material from this card to negate the activation. Don't worry about that. Never mind, scratch that. Graveyard interruption. Your Naval for your Tri-Brigade. You picked up your Nibiru and your Vela. 6 card draw, evenly match. But it's just to show you guys, Conductor Tyranno right off the start, but you don't have the dinosaur. So this is dead, this is dead. Lightning Storm can wipe the board, but that means you're getting punched in the face. You still need 5 or more monsters before you can activate him, and you have to pray for a modern day miracle that your opponent's special summons enough to get you to the utility you need. There's the Protoss, that's also dead. That's why I said you can actually cut this since this requires 5. But if you're playing a really good deck that has like mainly monsters, both of these I would recommend you play in it. But this is an example from the staples or generic cards that the players would be playing inside the deck that you want to be careful of. You want to be careful of that ratio as well as your hand traps. I don't recommend that you play too many hand traps. If I have to give a hand drop ratio for this event, I would say to play no more than 8 hand drops, no more than that, because it's really going to come down to combo wise consistency. Your opponent can have a monster effect that says add, and then you still use that monster as a link material or something like that and continue going. So you went neg 1 and they freely link summon or exceed summon or something like that, and that's what's going to hurt. Whiptail, Thoroughblade, Whiptail. If this card battles a monster after damage calculation, oh boy! And see, this is why I'm saying it's going to pay dividends. You just go Whiptail into a Zodiac monster, and you just run into something your opponent has, and it's banished. That hurts. That really hurts. But getting to the Zeus is the main thing, and then pot. But this, a similar build to this, is going to pay dividends. You don't have to play the Fairy Tale Lunar because there's nothing to add in this deck. Like I said, it was just in there for a card to consider playing. If you do have monsters with spellcasters with 1850 attack in your deck, you can cut this. Numerous cards you can cut, and then you can implement what you want to play. So like I said, the deck literally fills itself out. There's very little cards that you need to add in, just probably has a smaller engine when you cut certain cards. Like I'll cut the Lunar for you now, this Imperm, just for this build's sake. We're gonna cut this because we not heavily utilizing our extra deck. See, this actually gets you combo into your combo plays, or one evolution pill spell card from your deck to your hand sets up for it. You don't have to play the evolution pill and the ultimate conductor Tyranno because it could run into a brick at times, but it's still a really good card to play or have. But we're gonna cut it. This can get you into Wing Beast monster. That means this can get you into your Tri Brigade plays. So it's just another card to get you into your Tri Brigade combo play because Naval is a Wing Beast. Spell Destruct. Because you're playing Super Poly, you do want to be careful. Hold on. Send a monster from your hand or field of the graveyard, add one Tri Brigade. Okay, we're keeping that. I think it's the next one where you have to special summon, because you have to target a Beast Warrior or Wing Beast type monster you control, special summon, and then you can only link summon. You can cut this if you want, you don't have to. Beast Warrior or Wing Beast. I'm just looking at what we have because they hand traps. That's Beast Warrior. For the most part, it is playable. You don't have to play it, but it's going to lock you into only link summoning, which isn't bad because you're going to get your Tri Brigade set up for a disrupt on board. So you can. I think this just gets you the add, the Ruler No More, and the droplets. You don't have to play them. You can also cut them if you're confident in what you're playing, because you do have Super Poly. So with Super Poly, you can play Super Poly and either droplets or Ruler No More. Now with droplets, it's going to cost you from the hand. So I would recommend playing Ruler No More over the droplets. I'm actually going to recommend that. You're playing Super Poly, so you can break boards. So Super Poly and Ruler No More are going to be your 2 cards for breaking boards. You have 4 cards in terms of destruction, which is Darkhold, Rekieki, Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster. You can cut it down to 3, and let's see, Lightning Storm acts as a pendulum, a pivot in the middle. So let's say you go Rekieki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, you can cut the Dark Hole. So it'll be like sets of 2s. What you say, Shimmy? So you can actually cut the Dark Hole and keep the ratio right here. Key Harpy's Feather and Lightning Storm that alternates, because you really want them in 2. 2 is like the perfect ratio, especially when you're dealing with like simplistic engines. You don't want to overcomplicate things. That's why you're going to play 1 copy of Ruler No More for this. And Super Poly, they are going to bring boards for you. These are going to act as your searchers. This as your disrupt. This as another one of your board breakers. Yeah, everything else you basically only for this year need to add in 8 more cards of your choosing, so you can play another smaller engine in this and be successful. Well, you play hand traps in this, so you really won't want to play dangers or Orcus in this. And you can incorporate the Sword Soul. You can incorporate the Sword Soul engine in this. You actually can. Like I said, tokens are unlimited. They aren't banned. So you can also play Sword Soul in this if you want. But it is going to run into your Super Poly targets. You're going to have to cut about 3 Super Poly targets to get the synchros in. Yeah, you're going to have to cut about 3. So if you want to play Sword Souls in this, you can, because it's a really good, they do open really good if you get them off. But then you're also going to have to play Ram monsters. Alright, scratch that. You don't really want to play them in this, because we don't play Ram monsters. But you could add in another smaller engine to your liking to top this off. Anything, like I said, you could probably add back in the Fairy Tail Luna and add in those 1850s, so you can get add off of them. Or you could add in anything that's going to tell you go +1. You can even play a small hero engine if you want, just to go Stratos, Ferris, get 2 more, something like that. Yeah, if you're going to play the Sword Soul, play them with Tengi as their engine, and then some generics. And then the other deck, like I said, you can go Danger Orcus, or you could even go Danger Dark World Orcus. Yeah, so these 3 decks are what to look out for. Zoos mixed with Tri Brigade and generic staples. Like I said, you can cut the Nibiru because it isn't guaranteed. Do I still have the Highland in this? Highland is only 4-1. I'm just going to cut that and leave the Protoss. So you can add in another 10 card engine in this. You just want to make sure that those cards are searches, cards that allow you to add or extend, because you don't want Orcus, Raid Raptors, PK. Yeah, all 3 of them can actually work together. They actually can, especially the PK with Orcus. Like I said, if you're going to play the PK with Orcus, you can even play it with Dangers for extenders, because sending your PK and your Orcus cards to the graveyard, they don't hurt at all. So you can play Orcus PK, Danger Orcus PK, and you're gonna see great results with that as well. What's so dangerous is if you can actually get the combo off with 2 level 3s and you actually get 2 level 4s on board. You can lock your opponent or summoning playing Yu-Gi-Oh through the, I think that's number 86. You can log them out if he's not banned. Let's see if he's banned or not. Rockets would be a show, but you only have 1 at a quick play spell card, so you would need to open with numerous rockets for the field spell card to be really good, for you to like get multiple summons and then go into some other shenanigans. But based off of what we already have in the extra deck, we have our Super Poly targets, so it isn't really much room. We have our Zoo targets to get into our Zeus, and then we have our Tri Brigade targets. So the next 10 cards you add in should, like I said, it should be an engine that actually allows you to add or go +1 or just get you additional utility. at the moment because I'm currently winging it. I had a long day. I'm still hungry and haven't ate yet, and yeah, so yeah, brain power a little low, but this is a really good start. Like I said, with the Tri-Brigade Zodiac, if you don't want to play hand traps, it isn't no really big need to play hand traps, but if you're gonna play hand traps, I'm always gonna recommend the Ash, the Maxi, the Ghost, both of the Ghosts, because you want graveyard disruption, because they're playing staples and Monster Reborn is most likely one of them, and Ghost Ogre because face-up card effects that activate you can pop. So those 4 hand traps I would recommend that you do keep in the deck. If you want to play Veiler, you can play Veiler, but it can only activate during the opponent's turn. That's the drawback. If you don't play Veiler, I would then recommend the Infinite Impermanence in place of the Veiler, so you can play like 3 traps. So I'm going to cut the Veiler and actually put in the Imperm. So 3 traps, and like I say, 10 more monsters. I would actually have to go look in the Forbidden and Limited list and see what they have banned, and see what 10 monsters I can actually add to this. But for sure, your Super Poly targets, your Zoo targets, and your Tri-Brigade targets, and you do have your port so you can reshuffle your shenanigans. Hand destruction, it depends on the combination you looking to utilize hand destruction with. Utilizing hand destruction in this format would actually be a really good strategy, but then see, a lot of cards are at 1. That's the thing. Oh wow, Shimmy, you gave me a really good idea, because that's an excellent way to add. You can either go invoked and go for the what's it called, the Alistair for Macabre, or you can go, where is it? I need to search. Not really, you know, because depending on what your opponent's playing, hand destruction isn't gonna matter. Because if they are playing Dark World and you go hand destruction, you're gonna trigger their effects, and that puts you in a horrible position to be in. So that's why I said they are I called out at least 3 decks to look out for, because they are going to be really tough to beat, and that's with Danger Dark World, Danger Orcus, sending them to the graveyard. You basically telling your opponent to combo off Danger and PK, PK Fire, PK with Dark Worlds, anything that does discarding and all them other shenanigans. That right there is going to pay dividends. That's why you have to be careful implementing certain strategies. Like, it's good if your opponent is playing a deck where their effects aren't going to trigger when they go to the graveyard, but like I said, with the earlier mention of like the PK Orcus and dropping Dangers in there, like, no, Dangers go to the graveyard from the hand. If you're doing hand destruction, their effects are going to go off. So boy, gamer, to answer your question in all honesty, and everybody knows when you come on my channel, I give you the raw truth. Literally, most people or most people you see out there who have channels, and this is the thing what I don't get, a lot of the things you see, you would always see they have this deck unbeatable, undefeatable, broken, whatever else they could use to over exaggerate it. If all these decks are that good, which deck is going to top? Because a deck, one of those decks, have to take a loss, and when that deck take a loss, the deck that's weak, that's under it, it's going to have to take more losses, because remember how it plays till you get to finals. That would mean a deck, one of those decks are going to finish top 32, then top 16, then top 8, top 4, and then there's only going to be one deck that's going to reign supreme over all. Every deck cannot be undefeatable or broken, and broken is a word that they use way too often that they took out of context, because it isn't broken. It just has a really good grind game consistency wise. But I've shown that adding in certain staple cards, and even to some of the most simplest of decks, you can make those troublesome decks that people have getting over, like what's it called, Eldritch. Evenly matched Rage Eldritch all day long, hands down. Really, one card and Eldritch shuts down. And Eldritch is a really good trap deck to play, I kid you not. One of the best trap decks that shut down what your opponent can and cannot do in Yu-Gi-Oh! And one card shuts that down. You go evenly matched, and if you have any other card to destroy the opponent's back row, they have nothing else after that. The most they can do is probably go like a Sanguine and try to get a Golden Lord on field, and all you have to do is deal with the Golden Lord. They literally going off one card after that evenly forces them to banish. And it's really simple. Like, I don't understand why people over exaggerate. But to answer your question on if you should dismantle or keep the card, it based off of how you feel you're going to be utilizing ready fusions in deck builds. You don't want to dismantle a card and then come back in a deck build, and then you need the card. Now you have to try to generate it. So if you can see yourself playing, I think the deck slots are still at 20, they haven't upped it yet. If you can see yourself playing ready fusion, like, at least if you're going to dismantle it, keep 2 copies of the ready fusion if you're going to dismantle it. But if you see yourself playing ready fusion frequently, keep out 3 of your copies so that generating it isn't an issue. And then if you need to dismantle one of them for any reason whatsoever, you can then do that. But it all depends on how you see yourself playing that ready fusion. Like, I knew that I would be playing 3 copies of tuning, therefore I have all 3 of my tuning. I'm not dismantling them for nothing, because I know I'm going to go back to play Synchrons again, so I wouldn't dismantle my tunings. And how this game works, this is basically a virtual version of real life. You dismantle the card that you spend hard to earn crystals for, you still got to go there to either earn crystals or spend money on crystals to buy these cards. It's still costing you something. So do not dismantle the card if you can see yourself in the future playing the ready fusion. Just have the card if you're going to play it. Like, if I earn a card that I can see myself playing in the future, I don't dismantle it. Now, if I know it's a card that I'm not even playing at all or have no interest in playing, I'm going to dismantle it, because I have no use for the card if I'm not going to play it. But if you can see yourself playing that ready fusion, do not dismantle it, because it's going to be troublesome trying to earn it back. Trust me on that. Let me take a look at ready fusion effect anyway, because I don't even know what its effect is. Oh wow, you want to dismantle an ultra rare? Listen to me carefully. The only time you dismantle those ultra rares is if you sure you have no need of playing them whatsoever. Ultra rares are too hard to earn in this game. As you can see currently in this build, I would still need to craft the Asylum as an ultra rare and this Tri-Brigade monster as an ultra rare if I want to play this. Now, crafting the secret rares aren't going to be troublesome for me, because I do have some secret rare cards that I can dismantle and generate those. I also still have to generate Super Poly and the Ruler No More, so that's at least, and the Colossus, 5 ultra rares I would have to generate just to play this, and that isn't even in consideration of the other 10 cards that I need for an engine. But the ready fusion, this tells you pay 1,000 life points to get a free level 6. It's a non-effect monster on board. It cannot attack. But getting the fusion monster on board level 6 is still going to pay dividends, hands down, because it's another body on board. So having it, that's why I said to keep 2 copies, and you can dismantle. If you have 3, you can dismantle 1, because you only can play 1 once per turn. So keep 2. You're going to put 2 in your deck. If you open with it or draw into it, it isn't going to hurt too much. If you draw like both of them opening, then it just ensures that you have a way to scrap it, or it just will serve as another monster body during the following turn. But you don't want to open with 3 because there's no guarantee you're going to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For 3 turns if your opponent has an OTK built into that deck. So keep 2 and you can dismantle 1, but do not scrap all 3, and do not scrap 2 of them, because even though you can only play it once per turn, if you only have 1 and this gets you a monster body on board, a level 6 fusion, you don't want to compromise that by only having 1 copy of it. Have 2 so that you can summon out that level 6 fusion that could be a game changer to get you into extra link play or something like that, or an extra fusion play. Because even though it may not have an effect, if it's dark and you have super poly or something like that, or a monster effect on board that can fuse 2 monsters, 1 from your opponent's field, 1 from your field, then you can use it to get that body on board, and then, or you can use it to make a a rank 6 monster. So like I said, having it, just try to ensure that you always have 2, because it is a good card to have at 2. You can play 2 in the deck. I see no reason for 3. If you want to play 3, that's why it's always player preference, and I always just tell you guys, and I can't stress it enough, do not be sheep. Play what works for you. If you want to play 3, if 3 works for you and you only see Ready Fusion, because you can have 3 copies of a card in your deck and never see that card all duel. You can have 1 copy of a card in your deck and you can open with it. So it's player preference. If you open more times than not with 2 copies of Ready Fusion, then 2 is the magic number for you, because Ready Fusion works with you at 2. If you don't, play 3 copies and you may only see that Ready Fusion once, if that many times, in a duel. If 1 copy works for you, or you can get access to the Ready Fusion through Verte, then just play the 1 copy of Ready Fusion, and you can dismantle the other 2 and use it to try to generate another ultra rare. If you or if you want to use Verte to activate the Ready Fusion. If you don't have 2, and see, I wouldn't recommend you activating Ready Fusion or Verte's effect, because Verte's effect stops you from further summoning for the rest of the turn. But if it comes down to you needing Ready Fusion's effect to just have an additional monster body on board, so that you can trigger super poly during your opponent's turn after having a monster on board, because you can go Verte is dark, and then the non-effect monster that you fusion summon out can be dark, and set the super poly. If your opponent summons a dark monster, you can fuse 2 or more of them together and go the Tri-Pearl Overload, whatever it's called, for Predator Plants, or just go into Starving Venom or something like that, or into the Draco Stapelia, however you pronounce it, and hit the Disrupt like that. But I wouldn't recommend Ready Fusion's effect off of the Verte. Like, that's a last resort to combo off a super poly. I would recommend you playing any of the other, like Fusion Destiny or Neo's Fusion off the Verte, because you're going to get more versatility like that. Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, being able to pop himself and another card on board and then come right back, or Rainbow Neos being able to send all your opponent's monsters back row, or reset their graveyard. They are really good effects by sacrificing the Verte. Like I said, for this right here, just 10 more cards to be complete. The engine that I was looking for, I already forgot. Hot dang. Oh, remembered. Hold on. I see trick. Because remember what I said, you actually want cards that are going to get you more cards from deck to hand. Because your opponent, even though your opponent only has 1 copy of Ash, it isn't going to be that drastic. Okay, the light stage. Then you can go Terraforming. Oh wow, Terraforming doesn't show up. That sucks. But you can go Candina, because she's going to get you an odd. You can play that. Or and one more Trickstar. If you control no monsters or all monsters you control, okay, you can play one copy of her. So you can get a free special summon if you open. You can special summon her and basically go into any other card if you need to link off combo wise. Oh, that's what's not here. If you want, because the Super Poly targets do take up a great deal of space in the extra deck, and that's only one card in the deck. You can cut the Super what's it called? Droplets. You can put in the droplets, cut your your 4 Super Poly targets, and then you can go IP Masquerena. What's the guy's name? Unicorn. So you could get that, and the other 2 would be, what's it called again? No, I think you need Cybers for that one. But you can go what's it called? Hold on, I have to check the link monster list for you guys. But Candina, this one, the field spell, Terraforming, and then you can go Alistair. Show you guys right now. Terra, so you could have a negate. Ah, crap, spelled it wrong. Terra. Alright, Terraforming. Then you're gonna go Alistair LS. Invoke. Yes, see that? That's why I said combinations of Danger and Dark World with smaller engines. They're gonna be really, anything with Danger Dark World or Danger Orcus is going to be troublesome. And if you incorporate something like Shadow, that's where you are sure the window is going to come into play. That's why you have to make sure you have your Ruler No More and you have your droplets. There we go. Alistair, Invocation. You need Magical Meltdown. There is a Magic Meltdown, so you could have your 2 field spell cards to add off the Terraforming that get you monsters. Where is it? Macabre. Your opponent may be playing other things, so if they're playing darks, you can go Calgra, and it just depends if they play in wind. Alistair the Invoker and 1 fusion monster. What this does: once per turn, you can banish 1 fusion monster from your graveyard. Discard against attack. If this got a special summon or monster special summon to your opponent's side, the field can target 1 monster your opponent controls. Oh, okay. This is a really good card to actually play in there. So you have the Macabre, you have your Invoked Asylum. Well, actually, you can, like I said, you can scrap the Super Poly engine. I'm gonna scrap it for you guys. This Draco Stapelia. We're gonna get rid of that. We're just gonna keep the 2, which would be Macabre and your Angus. Oh man, we can reset this search. And then the link for the Alistair. Where is it? Link 1, light. I missed light 8. Just the link 1 on the Alistair. right there. So you go link 1, IP here, scratch light link, open up the search. Oh, this is too big. Hold on, let's go link 2 because we know what we're looking for. Link 2. Now, where is that Masquerino? Come on, Masquerino. Come on, Masquerino. That means they pass it. It's the searchy thingy. Alright, let's use our text search. IP. Wow, where is IP? Don't tell me she banned? Please stop that. Just make sure for that Mayakashi, you would need the synchro monsters and the extra deck, depending on the engine you're playing and the number of cards that currently occupy your extra deck. You still have to be careful. But for only 3 cards in the main deck to utilize, that's another really good engine. Masquerina. See if I could find her. Okay, she's not banned. She's just ultra rare. Oh, that's why. 2 dots between the I and the P. Lib is gonna play dividends in that Orcus matchup. Like I said, for sure, Orcus is going to be troublesome to deal with. Also, the link 3. Unicorn is light. Where is it? Unicorn is darky. Oh my bad, Unicorn is dark. That's a lot of ultra rares, eh? We would just have to cut 1 card out of the extra deck. This isn't a bad card to have, but I guess we'll just stick with the one up on the Macabre for the negate. Your Zodiac engine, get to your Zeus, Masquerino, so you could get into your Unicorn, and your Tri-Brigade engine to get into, no, your Tri-Brigade engine for disruption, your Zeus to get into your Zeus, and just 3 more cards to add into the extra deck that would actually complete this. Okay, that's there, that's there, that's there. Oh, how could I forget? Whenever in doubt, always go and find your Upstart Goblin. Let's see if we can find any other draw cards to also assist in that Upstart Goblin with getting us to where we want to go. Pot. Search for pot of, and then we're going to restrict this to spells, normal, Choky, Monkey Board, and Unicorn. Joker unbound. Hey, that Shimmy, you really onto something right there. You really are. That's what I'm talking about, going +1 in those situations. Let's see. Yep, Joker. Where's Monkey Board? If you're playing Pendulums, this is the original go-to engine, man. You Monkey Board and Joker, and you set up a really good engine. MONK Monkey board. Wow. How the hell do you spell that? Form profiles. Yep, that was the combo. Hold on, I should just be able to go Joker and search. Alright, that's the end of the day, because I would have spelled that wrong numerous times. Turtle and what's it called? Turtle and lizard draw is also really good. That's like a mini pod engine. So if you want to incorporate it, you can actually cut a couple of cards, and you would have a decent pendulum scale. Where the hell is? Oh, there we go. And where is monkey board? Oh crap, monkey board still banned. Oh damn. But pendulum wise, you could go Joker and add in guitar or add in lizard, and if you have one or the other, all you do is you set scale at 6, drop in 3, pop it, draw 2, because you're gonna draw one off this and then draw one off him. 6, and you need a lower pendulum scale to boot. Monkey board, oh man, can't even use that. Yep, monkey board was the GOAT. Hold on, question, is monkey board unbanned, or is he just banned for this event? Because I am not sure. But you can go Joker, guitar, and lizard, so you can draw 2 cards as an engine. Oh, he's still banned? Oh damn. Because when I played artifacts, like really good in artifacts. Should be you would even try to sugarcoat that. Wow, I wish they would give us him back. Um, 41. I see Joker is really good. You can add any pendulum magician. So you can actually swap out Upstart for a small pendulum engine. So if you cut Upstart to try to make up ground, and cut monkey board, cut lizard draw and guitar, you could then search out the spell card, the level 4, and actually set up a really good pendulum engine and pendulum summon multiple monsters from your hand. I wonder how that's going to play in Damien. Because if we play that with numerous spells, that's another thing. And Damien might be another deck not to sleep on, because then they could play the Secret Village of the spellcasters and lockout spell play if you don't have a spellcaster. But instead of drawing 2, Where is he? He should be here somewhere. Ah, there we go. So you could pop himself. So you could add him, and maybe I guess you can go 8 and 1 for your pendulum zone. For your pendulum scale. Hold on, what's his effect? If you have a magician or perform pull card in the other zone, or you have to place another magician there. That's all they cry about. All they stay crying, and you would carry on like the game doesn't have a way to get around it. All it is that they don't want to incorporate those things into their deck to ruin the consistency. That's all it is. Him to add him, and then you just need a decent pendulum scale. One magician pendulum monster from your deck in defense position. But you really don't need to do that. You know how people go. They ain't never satisfied. Looking for the best pendulum engine to insert. I don't even see the card to search. Let me see something. Related cards. At all. But can't please everyone. Morgan, you never used monkey board before. Oh man. Listen to me. Monkey board is the GOAT. If you have monkey board and Joker, you literally can do almost anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pendulum wise. Scale setting. And then these two would probably be the best in the magician category. So you play these 4 and you're searching for them. I don't think Joker isn't a magician. So it's just Wisdom Eye, Dragon Pulse. You probably need maybe 1 more magician, just so you can always search out 2. What you mean monkey board was? Monkey board is amazing. It's just he just won't get to, you know, be able to enjoy any of that awesomeness. Oh, but wow. Stop that. Tempest should still be unbanned. Trying to figure out which would be the best pendulum magicians to utilize. Because then if you add those in, you still would have to cut cards. Like I say, you don't have to play the hand traps if you want to utilize other cards. Ash is at 1, so you don't have to worry about disruption from Ash when you're adding too many cards. Or maybe I can just cut one of the engines. Could potentially cut the Trickstar, but you really want that. Oh wow, why didn't I utilize that card? Later cards. Reincarnation. And then just cut. I guess I'll put Upstart back in and put the Upstart. Let's see. I wonder if the other field spell card. Activate this card. Add 1 Trickstar monster from your graveyard to your hand. If you link summon, target 1 Trickstar, control, and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, return Trickstar to hand if you do. Oh well. Yep, they really were. They really were. Because if you play Sacred Sword of 7, you literally go +3. You banish it, draw 2, and then add 1 because they got banished. That was crazy. I never even wanted Port of Greed after seeing Dragon Rulers utilizing Sacred Sword of 7. Yep. It happens. Where's Upstart? I legit don't have Upstart bookmarked. I guess probably because it was an easy search. Any other searches or extenders that can be played? But I know one thing, we can't mess with an extra deck for sure. Banishing 10 cards from our deck could actually work in our favor if we play the what's it called again? That banishes 10 cards from the deck. You guys know. No, because then you'd end up potentially banishing your Zodiacs wouldn't mind, but Tri Brigade would mind. Alright, scratch that. Yeah, Desires, but because you're utilizing the Tri Brigade, them getting banished wouldn't be a good thing, because then trying to hit your combo becomes a real uncertainty. Just one more card to add. Could be any monster. Something that can help you go +1 or something like that. I guess you can probably put back in the Lunar or something like that, I guess, if you want. Because it's a sure you put back. I mean, even though you don't have no spellcasters to add to your hand with 1850. I'm trying to think of a really good one monster card. Would not to art. Oh, you mean the Desires? Yeah, that's what I was saying. The Desires would be a risky gamble. I'm just trying to think of a really good card that can either get you +1 or some utility. Because you really don't want to go trap wise. You really want to get more monsters on board. As many as you can get on board as possible. That's why I say most of the combinations, like with the Trickstar, their field spell card, they're acting as cards to allow you to search to add and then give you another add. Oh, well, I guess I'll just put in roll, so if I do hit that combo, when my opponent adds, I could just make them pay for it. So just go one copy of Droll and keep it simple. Because if my opponent is doing a massive amount of adding, Droll is going to pay dividends. So Droll, Maxi, Go, Spell, Ash would be your hand traps. That would be 5, and then you can play your Zodiac Engine along with your Alistair to get into your Macabre, which is a 1 card to get into the Macabre. Your Zodiac Engine, like I said, your Tri Brigade Engine, Nemesis to get you into that, because cards are going to get banished. Get you into that Colossus, where there's early game, late game. Getting a 2600 beater on board and restricting your opponent from adding is still good. The Korab one, just a 2k monster to get on board, and you can go from there. Let me check something with the link mechanic. 2+ monsters with different names, 2 Tri Brigade monsters. I think she is fairy. Well, it's just another monster body on board, or you can use her whenever Candino will be targeted for an attack to boost her attack stats. And Candino on board anyway, when your opponent activates a spell or trap, is going to inflict 200 points of damage, so it may slow them down. You have Pinecratops, like I said, really good. The Protos, selecting an attribute for it to destroy, restrict your opponent from summoning, then your staple Drageki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm. So it's like the Lightning Storm acts as a second copy for each one of them. You have no card that would remain face up on board except for your field spell cards, so you would have to be careful with those and Lightning Storm to activate. Upstart, so this is actually a 39 card deck. Terraforming, because you can add any of the field spell cards to activate to add a monster that's going to add another card to your hand. So basically off one card you're going to add 3 cards. Terraforming, field spell, monster, another card. So you can go Candina and go Reincarnation, or Candina and add the Caraborn. I think only 2 targets, the Caraborn and the Reincarnation. Or you can go, if you opened with Chicken Game, you don't want your opponent using that effect, but Chicken Game and Pseudo Space, but it gets iffy at that point because, like I say, you still have to draw it or get it to your hand. But yeah, this gets you either one of your field spells, which gets you an additional add, and then allows you to combo off, because then you're gonna go field spell card, Magical Meltdown, Alistair Invocation, and you get your Macabre. So this one card here is really good utility. Like I said, even if you open with a field spell, you have a second copy in deck, so that Terraforming stays live. Port to regurgitate your shenanigans, Ruler No More, and Droplets. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna cut the Upstart for Droplets. Sorry, no, the Super Poly is gonna get cut for Droplets. Sorry about that. That's what's supposed to be moved and get Droplets in there. So you have 2 ways of turning off the opponent's boards or negating effects. Like I said, Lightning Storm acts as a second copy or a backup for these 2, because you don't really want to play 2. If you start Magical Meltdown or Light Stage, it's the same thing. Add the monster, add an additional card, so you go +2 off of 1 card. That's, you know, efficient Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing at its finest. Same thing with the Tanky, go full combo. Standoff, go full combo for your Tri-Brigade. Same thing, full combo for your Tri-Brigade. You'd only be able to link summon when you play this, that's why you don't have to. If you don't want to, you can go Upstart, but like I said, you're playing the Tri-Brigade, so why not? Reincarnation, so that you can actually punish your opponent if they go any port cards to start and go 6 cards. You can just send it to the graveyard, or if they add a specific card to hand, you can go Reincarnation, send it there. Or if they add 1, you do have a copy of Duel, so they can go add 1. You can then trigger Duel and then you trigger Reincarnation, then Duel in response, so that Reincarnation dumps the Duel effect go off. Let me see, make sure I'm saying it right. Your opponent adds, you activate Reincarnation, then Duel. Duel's effect goes off, Reincarnation dumps the hand, and then they get nothing in return. Also, when the Candina goes to the graveyard, you'll be able to special summon it back, so it gets you another monster body on board as a recovery option. So it's like a monster reborn just specifically for the Candina. Evenly match, break your opponent's board, so when Lightning Storm, Raigeki, and Harpy's Feather Duster won't cut it. Evenly match. Infinite Impermanence just for the negate, because the effect Vela isn't as efficient as the Impermanence. Plus you can set the Impermanence and neg the entire column, and then your Tri-Brigade Revolt. So this is a really good deck to play in the format. 21 monsters. You have cards that get you to those monsters, so it's like playing less cards when you have Terraforming going to both field spell cards, going to both monsters. So if you go minus this here, it's like, I wouldn't say minus, but they actually act as monster replacement. So it's like having 2 copies of the monster in the deck, if you understand what I'm saying. It's like getting the Candina faster. So it's not like you're playing 40 cards anymore, because you go Terraforming, search the field spell card, get the Alistair or the Candina, and then search another card, Invocation or Reincarnation, and that cuts your deck down. So it's like let's say terraforming is one, magical meltdown is another, and invocation is another. So it's like playing almost, you cut your deck down by 3 cards. And same thing if you go light stage, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to go search light stage, Candina, reincarnation. If you open up with the reincarnation, you just add the Coral Bone. So it's really good, efficient Yu-Gi-Oh playing at its finest if you're going to play this. Like I said, the other decks to look out for would be like the Danger Orcus or the Danger PK or the PK Orcus. Anything along those lines, they're going to be troublesome. Also the Soul Sword Tengi. I didn't build those, like I said, because it's just going to be player preference on the cards you add in, because it's going to be adding in multiple engines. This is what I just made from scratch, hands down, during the stream, so you guys can undoubtedly know that this is the real deal you're dealing with when it comes to deck building and formulating different strategies and in terms of efficiency. Now watch our 5-card opening hands, just how good they really are. Draw a 5-card sample. Like I said, really good. You can't go wrong. I want you to look at how good this hand is. You have the Harpy's Feather Duster, declare Black Row. You already have the invocation in hand. So you can go Magical Meltdown first to bait out an Ash to see if they have an Ash. If not, you're going to get your Alistair in hand. You can then go Terraforming, add in the light stage, get your Korriban, normal summon the Candina, get the reincarnation and be able to cause your opponent to lose their hand, or you can just summon the Alistair and make the Macabre and have your negate. That's how good that hand is. So you're going to end on a negate. Yeah, you're going to end on a negate, and that's what you want. You want at least one negate on board. Depending on what your opponent's doing, just negate the most troublesome thing. But this is a really good hand. Like I said, you can go Candina, so you can send your opponent's hand to the graveyard through reincarnation, or you can just go Macabre, easy 1 card. Like I said, go Magical Meltdown first to bait out to see if they have an Ash. You have the invocation, so if you go Candina, no, you don't want Candina to leave. So yeah, just go Alistair, Link, make the Link 1, and then make the Macabre. Recycle the Alistair back to your hand so you can make another. Well, you won't be able to fusion again another Macabre, but you have Monster Reborn. Let's see this 6-card to draw. Look at that. Zodiacs, very impactful. Just like I said, Exceed, Zeus. Then they have trouble on their hands. Next 5-card opening hand. Ruler no more, turn off your opponent's board, and this is where the Nemesis Corridor comes in handy. You go Ruler no more, shut off your opponent's monster effects, Regeki, clear that board. You go Kit, send another Tri-Brigade to the graveyard. That one that you send is gonna add 1 to hand, that you're gonna send to the graveyard to add another to the hand, and then you're going to normal summon. You're going to set up your Tri-Brigade board. Your Nemesis, because when you banish, they're going to be banished. Your Nemesis is going to send 1 banished monster back to the deck. You then get that Colossus. Your opponent can no longer add from deck to hand except by drawing, and they wouldn't be able to search. So you turn off your opponent's board wipe their monsters, and you haven't even used the Airborne yet to just make. Let me read the effect properly. For the rest of this turn, meaning that you can play the Airborne after you already made the Colossus, and then lock yourself into Link summoning afterwards with your Tri-Brigade engine. So really good. Let's go to our second card, 6-card draw, and Zodiac. You see that Zodiac engine? Like I said, if you go first, and then you just go into the Zeus, and now they have another destructive monster on board, in addition to them not being able to add from their deck to their hand. Next 5-card hand. Look at this. This is really good. You go Magical Meltdown. Watch this. Your opponent goes Maxi, you go Ash. Will you say Transparent Hoodie? Your opponent goes Moxie, you go Ash to turn it off. If your opponent goes Ash though on your Magical Meltdown, that is going to hurt. But knowing that your opponent is going to do at least one special summon, you can Moxie and draw one. Duel is going to log them out if they look to further extend. Ghost Spell for any graveyard interactions your opponent may try to execute. But you go Magical Meltdown, you get the Alistair, you get the Invocation, you get the Macabre, you automatically have your Negate and your hand trap utility. This is how the format is going to play. Just trying to give them a really good idea of how the format is going to play and what the engines that are going to be heavy in this festival, and some of the single-handed monsters that are going to really see play because of how good their effects are. Like Fairy Tail Luna, hands down, is going to see play because you only guaranteed one copy every player. You just bounce the monster back 200% of the time it's going back, and if you have spellcasters that are 1850, every time she normal summons, she's gonna get you another monster, which keeps your utility in your hand size up by +1 every single time. Oh no, your eyes are not deceiving you. Yes, that is a Royal Foil Moxie. It really is very shiny. Love it. But this is a really good opening hand. We're going to draw a 6 card if we were going second. If we were going second, this is a really good going second hand too as well. Like I said, with hand traps, you have a great deal of disruption. But you don't want to open up mainly hand traps. You need those 1 cards that allow you to start and extend and set up really good boards to be disruptive for your opponent. You drew the Carbon. Like I said, with her, if you control no monsters, you could easy special summon, get a 2k beater on board, and still get your Alistair, and still have your hand traps. Ultra rares, I taking them whether they shiny or not. Or tech cards, I taking them shiny or not, because they really hard to acquire in this game. Next 5 card hand, so you guys can see. Oh wow, now we got the Protoss, and Protoss only need you to banish 3 monsters, and with Tri Brigade that is not an issue. If Tri Brigades get banished, their trap card is going to summon them back from being banished to link summon. So Protoss fits in really good. And to show you just how good this hand is, you got Light Stage, you go Light Stage, you go Cantina get your Reincarnation or the Carbon. And you really want the Reincarnation so you could jack up your opponent's hand when they do add something. You can if you add the Cantina, you can just go you don't want to go Zeus first turn, you want to go Zeus second actually, and use your Tri Brigade first turn. Tri Brigade engine first turn. From scratch, live in the stream, when we started, we made a Tri Brigade Zodiac build with a couple of hand traps and some staples. I'll go to the deck build right after this hand right here, but just showing you how good the hand is and how you should play the hand. You really want to go your Tri Brigade engine first, set that up. That's going to open up for your Protoss, so that you'd actually be able to get him on board. He can't be destroyed by card effects, so Dark Hole, Raigeki, Lightning Storm, throw those things in the garbage. Select your attribute. If you already know the attribute your opponent's playing, that makes it even better. That means you're locking them out of special summoning, which is going to hurt. Then turn 2 would be your opponent if you're going first. Turn 3, you just go your Zodiac engine, get into that troublesome Zeus, so you can then board wipe after that and just have your opponent holding their head in disarray, because it really is going to hurt. Then you can follow up Trickstar Light Stage, get your Cantina, get your Carbon or the Reincarnation, and jack up your opponent's hand. But if you see you open with the Duel and Light Stage, just go straight into Cantina for Reincarnation. And when your opponent adds 1, because they're going to have some sort of utility to add a card from deck to hand, and then you would trigger the combo with Reincarnation and then Duel. So Duel can stop your opponent from drawing. Then Reincarnation is going to make them dump their hand, and then they have nothing. And then if Candina is by some chance removed from the field by your opponent's effect and it's in the graveyard, just use Reincarnation to bring her back. And if your opponent then plays a spell or trap effect, they're going to get hit for 200 points of damage. She's a 1800 beater, so it's really good. So this right here is a 3-turn hand that you can play. Going first, setting up your Tri-Brigade board. Also making sure that you set up the IP Masquerina. I'm going to go back so you guys can see it in the extra deck. So you can get the Unicorn for further disruption. Then you can either go your Zoo engine, depending on what your opponent's playing. If you want to go into that Zoo, into Zeus, just have it on board, or you can just set up Light Stage, jack up your opponent's hand, and all of this sets up for your Protoss play. Get Protoss on board, stop your opponent from special summoning, and he's a 2500 beater on board. Let's see the 6th card that we would draw if we were going second. It's another Zodiac. Like I said, Zodiac, very easy engine. Exceed summon, exceed summon, exceed summon, exceed summon, Zeus, bam. Now you have a Zeus with a double board wipe. And then you have Port of Avarice to put 5 of them back in your extra deck, draw 2 cards. It's a Port of Greed on steroids, recovering your extra deck and then just drawing 2 cards. And simply because you only need 1 Zodiac to go off, you have 5 in the deck, it really doesn't matter. You don't need to port back a Zodiac. You do play Monster Reborn. Let's go to the deck just to show it. And this is the build. This is the Tri-Brigade Zodiac. Actually, this is the invoked Tri-Brigade Zodiac deck for the format. Like I said, you can use the Armadorian Archosaurus to get into your Zodiac, into your Tri-Brigade player. So yeah, Tri-Brigade as the wing beast. Yeah, into your Tri-Brigade player. So that's why he's in the deck. You play the 1 copy of Duel, the 1 copy of him for your Tri-Brigade. Tri-Brigade, self-explanatory. Max, if your opponent wants special summon your Tri-Brigade monsters. Ghost Ogre for that face-up effect activate, just to pop and get rid of the opponent's monster body on board. Almost as effective as the what you call it, Crackdown, but better, because Crackdown you need to set it. But go in second. If your opponent's going first, then Ghost Ogre is going to be better than the Crackdown. Then Ash, if they try to add, you just stop the most potent add. If they like play a port card, Ghost Spell for the graveyard interaction. So all your Zoos just to exceed. Then yeah, all the stuff is easy. Macabre, your Candina, that's just another Zoo. Your 1 Candina, show you guys, go over the odd combo again. Nemesis, because cards are going to get banished. You get into that Colossus, shut your opponent out of adding cards from the deck to down except by drawing them. Tri-Brigade, Trickstar, Pinecratops, you're going to love this card and it's going to pay dividends. Easy special summon, 2600 beater, and then a pop right afterwards. If your opponent gets a window on board, this is the card you want to see. Get him on board, run over the window, and then pop another card on their field. Same thing with the Protoss. You get the Protoss on board, bunch of 3 monsters. You're only allowed 1 special summon. The window is on board. You summon him. You select the attribute for whatever your opponent may try to summon following turn, and then you can just beat over the window. It cannot be destroyed by card effects, so you don't have to worry about like Torrential Tribute or anything like that. You have your 1 Regeki, your 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. The Lightning Storm then acts as a second copy to these 2. Your 1 Monster Reborn just to regurgitate something out of your graveyard, make the most of it. Upstart, because of playing a 39 card deck, why not? The Terraforming, this is a really good combo. They go Terraforming and either Magical Meltdown or Light Stage. That's going to get you your Alistair into Invocation, or your Candina into Reincarnation, or the Carbon. The Port of Avarice is because of how you play your Zeus to get into that Zeus. You can just put all 5 of them back into your extra deck and then draw 2 cards from your deck. So it's a Port of Greed on steroids, recovering your extra deck, drawing 2 cards. Or you can actually recover, if you don't want to recover your Zeus, you can recover your Tri-Brigade engine, send them back to your extra deck, and then draw 2 cards. I already call Invocation. Then your Ruler No More and your Droplets acts as your 2 outlet cards to turn your opponent's board off. That's why you're playing cards, you know, as copies of 2 ofs, because it's a really good ratio. You don't want to go too many, like 3 or 4 outs, because it hurts, and you want the best ratio for when you open in a 5 card hand, 6 card, so you can do as much damage as possible and be relevant in the game. Because if you pick up too many staples, those kinds of hands are going to hurt. I'll go back to one of the Lunar Decks that has the ratio of 20 monsters and 12 spells, 8 traps, and show you how horrible that really is. Like I said, Lightning Storm is just like the backup for a second copy to either one of them. Your field spells cards, like I said, they just add the monster to add another card to your hand, which thins out the deck really quick and sets up for some massive disruption to your opponent. Tenki, why not? Sets up for you both of your Tri-Brigade and your Zodiac players. The standoff to set up your Tri-Brigade players. So basically these are searchers, so just because they say 21 monsters, with your searcher cards, you're really bumping it up to about 26 in a 39 card deck, because we play Upstart. So this would be considered a monster, 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 and this would be considered a monster. So that's done 5 cards that are considered a monster, and you play 21, so that's 26 monsters in a 39 card deck. I already talked about Droplets and the Ruler No More and turn off the opponent's board. The Reincarnation for jacking up your opponent's hand, evenly matched, so you can break your opponent's board. Imperm just to negate the effect, or you can set it on the field and negate a whole column. And the Tri-Brigade Revolt to set up for your disruption plays with your Tri-Brigade engine. In the extra deck, we play the 1 copy of Colossus, because it can easily be made. Cards will be banished. And ooh, that's a no. Well, that's actually something to consider. If you guys want, you can also play the Numeron engine in the deck. You can actually play that in this deck if you want. You can probably cut out one of the other engines, play the Numeron engine, and easily OTK your opponent with the Numeron monsters, because you can go Terraforming the Numeron, send the spell card from the deck to the graveyard, special summon 4 of them, hit your Numeron, and then end on Appaloosa. That is really good. I just thought of that. So if you don't want to play the Tri-Brigade engine as a setup, if you go Numeron as the engine, it does require you to get the Terraforming or start off with the field spell, or you can actually get, I'm sure it's at least 1 monster that can get a field spell card from your deck to your hand. So you can do that and get it to your hand, send it to the graveyard, summon out 4 monsters, and then on Appaloosa going first or going second. It's a really good OTK. So you may want to go, you can mix the zoos with that if you want. You can actually do that, and you can actually play more hand traps or more utility cards or more draw cards, whichever one you feel is going to be feasible. You may even want to play, real quick, I think it's a level 7. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's a Dark Dragon type monster that you can use when your opponent link summons. I mean, you can only have 1 copy, so it isn't like you're going to be playing multiple. Dark Dragon level 7. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Phantasme. So you can actually play, you have a couple of cards that can interact with what your opponent's doing. So you can play like the Phantasme, so if they link summon and they have a couple of link, like how Tri-Brigades, like I told you, would be a thing. If they get a couple of link monsters on the board, you can go Phantasme, draw a couple of more cards, and you'd end up going +1 in that situation. So that would really be good. But you only have 1 copy, so don't really have your heart set on it. But if you're going to cut out the Tri-Brigade engine, you can utilize the Numeron engine, because that's going to get you an easy OTK. Very easy. I don't know why I didn't thought about that before, but a lot on the mind. Long day, haven't ate yet. Yeah. But yeah, you can utilize this guy. Let me see if I can bookmark that just to make sure that it's there. And then in the extra deck, just finishing off the extra deck for you guys, the one Macabre, because once you get the Alistair, it's irrelevant from there. Your Zeus, you just exceed summon Zeus. Then, like I said, a troublesome Zeus that can board wipe at least twice. And if your opponent destroys a card on your field, then you know you get to attach one card from your hand, deck, graveyard, or extra deck to him as a material, so you can potentially board wipe 3 or more times. The Artemis, this is just for the Alistair to make the Macabre. The Masquerena, because when you're actually doing your Tri-Brigade plays, you do want to make the Masquerena so that once you use, where's the rank link for the Tri-Brigade, the Ominous Omen to banish, you can then use the, because you're going to make the link 2, you're going to make the link 2 on Masquerena, and then or you can make the link 2 and then go into Masquerena, so you can get the trap, so you can make the Ominous Omen, use the Ominous Omen's effect to banish, and then you can then use Masquerena to get into Unicorn off of your Omen, so that you can spin another card from the field, and then your Unicorn cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you can get multiple disruptions that way when you set up. That's why I say to set up using the Tri-Brigade engine. And then you can use the Zodiac engine as your ladder engine to get into the Zeus for further disruption. If not, then you can just set up the Macabre to have the negate, and it's irrelevant after that. But like I said, in the extra deck, the Masquerena, and then your Tri-Brigade monsters, your 2 link 2s, your Unicorn, your Regal the Silver, Sheller, and the Ominous Omen. That's the extra deck. That's the deck. Back to the test hand, so you guys can see right off bat, without even playing the deck, just how good my ratio is when deck building, and to see just how good the engines really are in the game. 5 card hand again, and look at that, Candina, and I think the Carbon got added. You can go Candina, add the field spell card, but I think the field spell card adds a monster, so you just really want to go for the... Oh, also if you use the field spell card, if I'm not mistaken, let me just go back, I think the field spell card, yeah, you can select a set card. So if your opponent is playing like a decent amount of trap cards, you can just go light stage before you summon the Candina, add the Candina off the light stage, target the face down card, and then it can't even activate. Hold on, wait, let me make sure. Your opponent cannot activate it until the end phase, and your opponent must activate it during the end phase, or else it's sent to the graveyard. Okay, so using the light stage, you can just search it, light stage, target your opponent's face down card. You don't even have to worry about that face down no more. And you added your Candina, get your reincarnation, and like I say, if Duel is in hand, you can almost guarantee that your opponent is going to add a card from their deck to the hand, because that's what this format calls for. You can then cause your opponent have a nightmare. The moment they add that card, they will no longer have cards in their hand. They have to banish those cards. They're not going to the graveyard. This is just piggybacking off of Shimmy. Shimmy mentioned something about hand destruction, and I told him that hand destruction would really be good in this format, but it's the way that you utilize your hand destruction. The reincarnation hand destruction is the best. If you go any other hand destruction, you're gonna most likely run into Dangerous Orcus, PK. What else? I think it's another deck. I can't remember exactly. I know for sure Danger Orcus, PK. It's another deck that can utilize the graveyard. Or Dark World. You do not want to hand destruction those, because all of those, they're just going to gain effects or resources. So the reincarnation hand destruction is the best way to go in conjunction with Duel. And then like I said, evenly you just break boards, impermanence. For if you're going second and your opponent, you open with it, your opponent tries to combo off, it's just sub for the effect Vela as a hand trap, because it's just better than Vela as a hand trap, honestly, because even if you don't open with it, go in second, if you draw it, second, then you could always use it to either bait out effect or negate an effect, and then your revolt, you know, as a disruptor. Back to our opening hand testing so you guys can see. And look at this opener. You have Meltdown, you have Terraforming. That means you can automatically make your negate with Alistair. You already have the invocation, so it's not even an issue. So you can basically use the magical Meltdown to try to see if you can bait out an Ash, because they wouldn't want you to get the Alistair, because Alistair means that's automatic negate. So if you go magical Meltdown, you get the Alistair. Sorry, not magical Meltdown. You actually want to go Terraforming, get the light stage, and then go light stage to get the Candina. If they stop the Candina from coming, it's not an issue. You really want to play the Meltdown to get the Alistair so that you could make your negate, because that's important. This is just going to be the dead card in hand. It's not too bad because all the other cards you play in the deck are either beast warriors or wing beast type monsters, so this is a card that is going to be live. Let's see our 6th card if we were going second. Evenly matched, so that's really good. Your opponent opens up, set up a board. If they don't have an Omni negate, when you go evenly, they are going to cry. It's going to hurt. Numerous staple cards in the back row that they're going to be using, like the Crackdown, field spell card setup. If they're playing spellcasters and they're using Secret Village, you playing evenly matched means Secret Village gets turned off. Either they're going to banish the village or they're going to banish the spellcaster. Either way, it's going to get turned off and they're going to be left with 1 card face up, and that allows you to combo off play Yu-Gi-Oh with this version of the deck. Next 5 card opening hand, you have our Pinkertops. Like I tell you, he's going to put in work. You open with the Reincarnation. If they do add something that could potentially be troublesome, the graveyard, you have Regeki, the board wipe, Imperm, negate the effect, and you have the Airborne, but you don't have a monster, so this is going to a monster to use it with, so this is going to be dead until you get the requirements for this card. But not to worry, as you have more than enough utility to slow your monster down, as you have a 2600 beta that can just instantly turn into a paw. Let's see our 6th card. Oh, there's the Cantina. Lovely. That means you can now get your light stage and add the Carbon, and there you have it. If your opponent plays a spell or trap card, they get burned for 2. You have a 1800 beta. The Carbon on hand, if they try to attack her attack is going to go up by 2000, making her 3800, and that's going to put your opponent in a really bad spot. So even if your opponent has like Impermanent or an effect to negate Candina's effect, if you already have Carbon in hand, then you can boost the attack points up, and that puts them, if they run into it, in a really bad spot. Next 5 card opening hand, look at that. Zeus, Pinkertops, Duel, Harpy's Feather Duster. The Revolt is going to be dead for now. Well, actually no, because you actually have Zodiac, and I think they can use the Zodiac monsters as well, because you're just banishing any number of Beast Warriors or Wing Beast type monsters that are banished or in your graveyard, negate their effects, then immediately link some and try brigade link monster using those monsters. So basically what your Revolt would do is it actually would allow you to recycle your Zodiac monsters as well. Wow, that's excellent utility. So going first, you can set up with Zodiacs if you want. Excuse me. Set up with Zodiacs if you want. I try to remember if one of them have a special summon effect. The extra deck is really thin, so you won't even be able to get the Draco Future. But let's see the 6th card that we would draw. If you don't want to set up with the Zodiacs, you can just wait out your opponent and draw them when they try to extend, so that they don't get far. So they should not be able to OTK you unless they go like the what's it called, the Numeron engine with a limiter removal. Then you would just be in trouble getting OTK. 6th card you would draw is Standoff, and it just requires you to send a monster from your hand or field of the graveyard to add a Tri-Brigade. So going second, you automatically have full combo for both Zodiac and Tri-Brigade right off the bat. Next 5 card opening hand. Wow, this is what I'm talking about here. Trickstar, Light Stage, Troll. That means you get Candina, Reincarnation. Your opponent odds, they are going to cry. Pinkertops, going to pay dividends. Special summon himself, 2600 beat up pop. Impermanence, hold the opponent off. And there is the droplets. This is how easy it is to use droplets. You play infinite impermanence effect to neg one of your opponent's effects. Follow that up with droplets. And now you play in droplets as a free cost because you're going to send the imperm to the graveyard. Or if you have like a normal spell card, you would play it and then follow up with droplets, send it to the graveyard so you can get a negate. So now this is the combo that I told you was going to pay dividends. Light Stage, get your Candina, Candina Reincarnation. Your opponent does anything to add a card from deck to hand and they lose out on their whole hand being banished. Aside from that, you have Pinkertops, Impermanence, Unforbidden Droplets. That really good in terms of utility. If you go in second, droplets won't fail you and turn off the opponent's board. So will Imperm. You probably can Imperm before that so your opponent doesn't get full combo. But if you want to wait, it doesn't matter. You have all the negation you need because you can go droplets, send the impermanence, send a monster, and send a spell, and your opponent cannot activate nothing in response because if you droplets, send the imperm, they can't solemn you. That's the 6th card. Oh wow. Now, no, I think this is the card I hate with Tri Brigade. Yeah, you don't really go full combo with this card because you have to discard a Beast Wing to special summon him, and then you have to banish. You have to banish any number of beasts, wing beasts. So this is just the one Tri Brigade card that I hate. You don't really want to see, but any one of the other ones would be really good. But this radio is already an awesome opening hand. Whether you go first or go in second, you can take Keras and check him in your back pocket. Next 5 card opening hand. Neutralize your opponent's board. Full combo Tri Brigade. You can either go Candina or you can go Alistair, make it negate. Raigeki, clear your opponent's board, and you can still go full combo Tri Brigade, even if by some chance your opponent can stop his effect of adding a Tri Brigade monster from deck down with an Ash. It doesn't really matter. 6 card re-withdrawal. Look at that Zodiac, full combo for either your turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays to get into that troublesome Zeus. Next 5 card opening hand. And look at this, like I said, Terraforming, full combo, either Zodiac or Tri Brigade. You're most likely going to go Tri Brigade so you can open. You already have your Zodiac full combo. Ghost for interruption, Raigeki, clear that field. Moxie for the additional odd. Let's see the 6 card we would draw. Light Stage, look at that. This, like I said, this deck is really good. Hopefully I can craft all the cards by the time the event start to be able to play this because this is really good. Next 5 card opening hand. Look at that. Magical Meltdown. Get that Alistair. Get that Macabre on board for the negate. Your Tri Brigade full combo. And then still normal summon out the Zodiac for your Zodiac full combo if you want. You can also utilize the standoff if you want, just to get another Tri Brigade monster in the graveyard. Candina, add the field spell card, get the Korabon, so she can have an attack boost. And then the field spell card also seals away your opponent's face, at least one face down from your opponent, so you have to deal with one less face down your opponent's sets. Let's draw an additional card, and there's the Nerval. Really good card opening up for Tri Brigade. So like I said, these hands are really good. Tri Brigade Zodiac, really good. Again, we have Zodiac. Again, we have evenly. We have the Pinkertops. So you're looking full combo Zodiac. First turn, you can just set one and pass, or you can go full combo and summon out your Zodiac, depending on which one you use. You would want to look for the best effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect that targets this card, no, that isn't what you want. Spell card that targets, no. Well, you can go full combo and then see where you go from there, but you have evenly, so if your opponent opens up and they can't OTK, you just go evenly, clear the board. they would usually either keep one card face down on a monster. If they keep a monster that makes the Pankratops live, meaning that you should be able to beat over that monster, and then that puts them in a really bad position because now you have a 2600 beater plus a pop. Let's see what card we would draw. We going second. We have the Korabian, Korabon, or Bean, however you pronounce it. So that isn't bad. You control no monsters. You just special summon a 2k beater on board. Let them figure out how they can get over that. Next 5 card opening hand. Oh, there's the Nemesis. There is the Nemesis, and we have Tanky. Nemesis and Tanky means that you get to lock your opponent out of adding cards from the hand except by drawing it. Because you can go Tri-Brigade, full engine, banish the monster. When you go full combo with Tri-Brigade, you can still normal summon for Zoo, but you don't have to. You can special summon the Korabian, go Tri-Brigade, full combo, Nemesis Corridor off one of your banished monsters, send it back to the deck to drop the Colossus, and then you would have your Tri-Brigade Disruption, because you would have IP Masquerena with the trap, so that you can banish and then go into Unicorn, and with Nemesis to go into the Colossus, they can add and have a 2k beater on board on top of that, and then you still have your Zodiac for your turn 3 play to go into that Zeus. If your opponent can somehow manage to get over that board, you still have Ruler No More to turn off their board and then make that Zeus. That Zeus is going to go to board wipe at least twice, so you can board wipe and still have an additional board wipe, and he's a 3k beater. You haven't even drawn your 6th card yet. Let's draw it. There's the Nerval. So go in second, no matter what. Really good openers. One more test on so you guys can see just how good this deck really is. Wow. Full combo. You have your Revolt, Terraforming, and Port. This hand is awesome. You can go Zeus. Or you can go Tri-Brigade. Like I say, I always recommend you go with Tri-Brigade. The Karis is the worst one to start off with, so you can go Tri-Brigade to set up. You're going to get a bunch of monsters in the graveyard. You can then send them back to the deck for port, but you don't want to port just yet. You do want to pile up the graveyard with as many more monsters as you could before you port, so you can draw 2. You have your Revolt already, so depending on how you decide to link, that's going to be up to you. Let's see the 6th card that we will draw. There is Reincarnation. Like I said, your opponent adds anything to their hand to combo off with. Reincarnation, make them banish it, draw the same number of cards. Keep in mind, because of the format, you can only have 1 copy of each card, so you don't have to worry about them drawing something that you just force them to banish. If they add it to their hand and you banish it, that hurts. They can't do anything with that anymore. But that is the deck. I'm actually going to save this. I need to see if I can generate the cards for this deck. I think I am shy about 1,000,001 ultra rares for this deck. Checking in a minute. Yeah, I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's a lot of ultra rares. 6, 7. Oh, dang. Not sure if I'll be able to play it, but I may swap out a couple of cards. Like I say, maybe the Numeron engine, so I don't have to play as many ultra rares. But let me check the Numeron engine just to see if they are legitimately playable. Numeron. Yes, they are. 1, 2, 3. Hold on, I think I'm missing one. What the hell's going on? 1, 2, 3. What's the next one? You tell me they didn't want you to easily OTK? Oh, they suck rocks. That's number 1. But they have him. And you can go Numeron Wall as well as Stingham to get Numeron Network or field spell card from deck to hand. Wow, so they want to make sure you can't make that instant. Wow, that's crazy. Do they legitimately have that ban? Yes, they do. They legitimately have it banned. Wow. But you can still play it though. You can play it and you won't be able to get that Appaloosa, but you can play it. You can play it and probably link into like link 3 probably into an IP, I guess, or something else like that to set up for disruption, or into another link 3, something useful. But it's a really easy engine to utilize and use due to the fact that you can get access to Numeron network between Terraforming, Numeron, and Numeron Wall. Oh, couldn't let me know what they was doing, because boy, that'd have been an easy OTK. It still could potentially be a OTK depending on what your opponent has on board. Okay, they number monsters. Okay, so that wouldn't work. Does one of these do special summon? I think so. I think it should be something where they target, destroy, special summon. No, it's target directly. Send a card, special summon it. Okay, so if you summon this Zodiac, you should be able to special summon another Zodiac Exceed monster from the graveyard if it's sent there, and you can actually play the Utopic Future and Draco Future combo if you want. In this build, you would most likely have to cut. Oh boy, this is tough if you do that. You'd have to cut 2 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd probably have to cut a Zodiac card, and you could probably cut the Colossus and the Nemesis, because it isn't really no guarantee that you're always going to hit the Colossus, but that is a potential that you can actually have. And then, because if you play that, bring that back, make that as a negate, you can still normal summon any other Zodiac, exceed twice, and still make the Zeus and have board white. So that still isn't bad. So you can actually do that. Oh, whitey. Now that test on the Lunar Decks, yes, I know it's prohibited, so I can show you guys just how horrible the Lunar Decks are with their ratios. Okay, this just standard staples. It plays Desires to draw 2, but I don't really know if you really want to do that, because if you go Desires, you get rid of your launch, it hurts. Scapegoat, Scribble, this just to draw 2. Yeah, 1 so this is like playing 21 monsters right there, and then none of these really get to another monster. Now watch when we test the hands. Crap. Select the Lunar Deck. I didn't mean to put it in that slot. Why it's in copy deck? I just tested out. Because you can't edit these, are they? Hold on. Copy select. Alright, let me just copy the deck and just do it from the next menu. So it's copied to my deck, so I'll just go in my deck here. Oh no, it's gonna erase this one. let me go into the actual deck building section and show you guys, just so you guys can see. I just copied it. Okay, right here. Okay, sample 5 card hand. Here we go. Should be able to go normal summon, get your field spell card, but you can special summon them too. So this hand isn't that bad. You have a Dark Hole, a Mirror Force, but if your opponent has a negate and a decent or setup, you trying to get to anything consistent is going to become a bit difficult, because you have the hope that your opponent doesn't have 2 or more really good disruptions, because that's going to hurt. You could even consider playing Call by the Grave if you want. Lightning Storm isn't bad. Another 5 card opening hand. You should be able to get Field Spell, Special Summon, because you could put and Special Summon 2 Link. 6 card Rocket Tracer. So that it isn't too bad. Synchron, that's excellent. You can make Burrow Savage. Like I said, you just have to watch out for the negates, because you really don't have too much of a contingency plan. Regeki, Imperm. So you should be able to normal summon, special summon, go into the Blink 1, pop this guy, so you could add another rocket monster. Most likely you could get the level 1. But if you normal summon, you wouldn't be able to normal summon again, so because you got the field spell card off him, so you have to wait for a turn 2 to get a Burrow Savage, so that still hurts. 6 card to crack down, so that isn't too bad. But keep in mind, your opponent's playing generic cards to deal with cards in the back row, so yeah. So yeah, a card that you should consider playing as well, Call by the Grave, because it's still really good. So if you don't want to play like the Ghost Spell, you can play the Call by the Grave. Draw 6 card. You have Archfiend Eccentric, not a bad card at all. Ice Dragon Prison. Target one monster your opponent in your opponent's grave, special summon on the field, but its effects are negated. Then you can banish one monster from both players' field that is the same type as that. That's actually a really good trap card to have, but that's if you have a turn to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The Crackdown, Feather Duster, Heavy Storm, Scribble Draw. Not too bad, but like I said, it isn't the best in terms of how really good you could have of a disruptive board compared to what a lot of the other players are going to be playing. But yeah, that's just one of the Lunar Decks I just wanted to show you as an example. I'm deleting this. I don't want to go to a list of structured decks. I want to delete this. But there are a couple of decks that I haven't gotten to finishing because I haven't earned the cards yet to show you how really good the builds would actually be. But I do have in the works a Sword Soul, a Tri-Brigade, DPE, a Numeron. It's just a deck I was using from the Fusion Festival, and the other deck I was using in the Fusion Festival. Haven't gotten to this yet, but basically just these 3: Soul Sword, Tri-Brigade, Numerons. And these are set to actually play really good in the Diamond Tier 1. So yeah, Utopia is doing some real damage in the Diamond Tier 1. There are people who debated that, it's not that good or whatever, but hey, I've been playing it, the cards work for me, I've been getting results, but yeah, that's going to be it for this stream, because I really need to get something to eat. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the festival Sunday. I will show you that tragic video of the Raid Raptor player, get you guys that base for the Raid Raptors and the one combo that you just need to know, and you can do almost anything with Raid Raptors from there, so you guys can efficiently play Raid Raptors however you feel, the right way, not the wrong way, the right way. But like I always tell you guys in terms of advice, don't allow others to dictate to you. Like, what I do on my channel is I don't dictate. I always recommend. I give information and allow you to know the pros and the cons of using one card versus another based off of the situation, the build you're playing, and what you're looking to achieve with that build. Don't allow people to tell you what to play. Just because the best players in the world are playing it doesn't mean you should play it. This is how a lot of people take L's and take losses, by those who already realize this. If you go to a local, you go to a national, you go to a YCS, a majority of the decks core are very similar and you have an answer to it, that means that most matchups you're going to end up with, you're going to win. It doesn't mean that you're playing a really good deck. It just means that you have an answer for what is presently being presented to you at that current time. And as long as you have an answer, you can play a really simplistic deck. And as long as you have an answer for whatever it is that the meta is currently doing, you are going to win or end up with a great deal of success in whatever event it is you're taking part in, just because you have an answer to the core engine of those decks. And then they have to side. When they have to side and you don't have to side, that game 3, they are not going to revert their deck because they need them for outs so that they can play, meaning that now you have the upper hand when you go to side for that third duel, and now you can put in answers to whatever it is they side in so that you can take the match. And that is how you want to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So you guys, don't let no one tell you what to play. Just because the best players in the world are playing it doesn't mean you should play it. If you have sheep, if you have 100 clones of everyone playing with the best player in the world, tell them, do you honestly believe that the best player in the world is going to tell you how to beat them? Honestly, do you really believe they're going to come out and be like, hey, if you want to be the best player in the world, you play this? If that's the case and that's able to beat them, they would no longer hold that status or that rank. Always remember that. Do not be a sheep. Don't fall for the lies, the deceit, and the deception. Nothing is, I wouldn't say nothing, but a lot of things are not as broken as it seems, and a lot of cards are not as overpowered as they have been led to believe. They are just overhyped by them, because a lot of players take their word as gospel. It just is what it is. But when you match up those different techniques or strategies, combination cards, monsters, board setup, I can show you just how easy it is to break them just by incorporating or selecting simplistic hand traps to utilize in your deck build, or floodgates to utilize that can work well with a really simplistic deck, and you're going to get really good results with a deck that people would usually not even play. So all it is having an answer to what the meta is doing. That's it. Once you have an answer for what the meta is doing, you are going to receive a great deal of success. If you don't top, you are going to receive that success, a really good win ratio, and it's going to put you on top of the world. But do not fall into that trap. You're not a sheep. You need advice. You come for advice. I don't dictate to no one. I don't tell no one how to play their cards or what to play. I always emphasize, this is what I play. This is what works for me. You don't have to play what I play, and always play what works for you, because that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh goes. I can, like how I just created that deck from scratch to play in the festival. I can play that deck. You may play that deck, and you may get a whole totally different ratio of cards to combo off with. And what I open with, draw into, you may not. I mean, based off of what I saw just now, the deck looks really consistent, so it should be really hard for you not to end up with very similar results as me. But the mere fact is just situation based off of what your opponent's playing for the matchup. Before I leave to end the stream, you guys make sure, be careful of those Danger Dark World, Danger Orcus, Danger PK, and decks of that can compensate for the three of them, like utilizing all three of them, such as Danger Dark World Orcus or Danger Dark World PK, stuff like that. Be careful of those decks. Also be careful of Soul Sword, Tangy, Soul Sword Tangy Yangzing, Soul Sword Tangy Yangzing with a Macabre Splashing or something like that, because there's only one card. So they could get another negate on board. Be careful of those decks, because you can expect those decks to be running around in this event. So if you guys do want a really good deck to play, I do recommend, in addition to what I just built, I do recommend those versions of decks to play. Those decks, again, Soul Sword Tangy, you can splash in Yangzings if you want. Danger Dark World, Danger PK, Danger Orcus, Dark World, or any combination, any one of them. You can incorporate PK as well, because you can get utility where you can end up making, because PK is famous for getting level 3s to make rank 3s. And the monster, let me go into the deck real quick so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. It's a rank 4 and a rank 3. You just pair them together and you lock your opponent with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Exceeds. So if you play in that danger PK Orcus combination, yeah, you should be able to hit this. Let me go. I did hit Exceed, right? Go here. Now trying to find them is the thing. Where are they now? They really should have had this by alphabetical. Oh, there we go. The number 86, and then it's the rank 3 that can equip to him with the rest of the materials, giving him 5, meaning that you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Your opponent wouldn't be able to normal or special summon. This card would be unaffected by the card effects and so on and so forth. So if you're playing that danger PK, you can look to be able to execute this combo. This shouldn't be an issue. Or danger PK Orcus, so you can have Orcus splashing as well. There's still a combo you can hit along with the disruption from Orcus, but it'll be up to you, player preference, based off of your card selection during deck construction. I always state that it's always up to you what you want to play, or what you feel is going to be reasonable or sensible, strategic wise, that isn't going to overcomplicate things when you play to get the most success when you do. But yeah, this is the lock you would have access to. So yeah, any one of those builds and you should see a great deal of success. Oh, let me also check that for you guys. It's True Draco, because they are annoying. Okay, they have the Trigonoff, they have her, but they have him. Yeah, their cards are restricted to 1. So guys, do be wary and mindful that they can still play the True Draco engine as a very small engine, because they can play the Diagram Heritage, Disciples, Return, and Apocalypse. They can still play those 5 along with these 2, and they can play a decent amount of hand traps, disruptors, or they can also just splash in the Zodiac engine and play it with the True Draco engine. So you want to be careful of that. So True Dracos are also going to be troublesome if someone does create the version that I'm talking about now, because you can go True Draco just with these 2 alone. They have access to Upstart, Pot, banishing cards from the extra deck to draw 2 cards, and still set up, along with still being able to set up like using Zodiac, or even if they incorporate a tri-brigade engine. And it's going to be really troublesome if someone actually builds something like that. But that's actually one of the easiest decks you could actually make simplistically. That with probably the Numeron engine, and if you go like True Draco, Numeron, something like that, and you can play the Skill Drain if Skill Drain is legitimate, and other cards of that nature. You still would want your board wipes still, but not as many. You probably just need the Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster, and then you could just utilize the other True Draco cards to pop a card on field or something like that to compensate. But yeah, that's going to be it for this stream. I'm going to get something to eat before I pass out, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the event. And Sunday I will upload that for you guys, the Tragic Raid Raptor video that I had to gruesomely take part in. And yeah, so yeah, that's all you guys need to be wary of for the upcoming event. That's what, almost 4 hours of streaming. So yeah, until next time guys, later.